If someone doesn't like what they're listening to, turn the fucking channel.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? What's going on?
What's up, baby?
What's up, everybody?
I'm loving this. Where the guy comes in and interviews the host. This is wonderful.
I did almost kill my dad once.
Oh yeah. You don't want to be the first guy to laugh. No.
Come on, man.
No, he's known for dropping deuces on the dang stage.
I fell into it. It was a terrible bad habit, and there was no mentor there to tell me, hey, stop doing that.
They need us.
You're just taking up space. All right, bitch, why don't you go first?
You're the wanted man, Ronnie.
Got him.
They can kiss my ass, though, I'm saying.
Ronnie got hit again. Yes, I think he did. Dude, tell us, Ronnie, how much of that you have?
It's fucking great story. I had so many questions.
Opinion. Most things I talk about are my opinion. Don't we all have our own opinions of how things look to us and what we think is going to happen and everything?
And if you work hard enough, you can achieve whatever you want.
We all have an opinion, so what the hell have we got against mine?
You have
They
the wrong
want-
opinion.
I couldn't always afford stuff to grill, and so I was like living off the dollar menu.
Sometimes when I think about it, I think I must be going insane. You know, this can't be the way it is. Like, we cannot be at this point of substance. Am I wrong? You know, because I tend to agree with most things you guys or Ronnie might say on this channel.
Well, I don't agree with everything that Ronnie shares. You know, he and I have talked about a lot of things that we do agree on and a few things that we don't, but it doesn't matter. He should still have the right to say them.
Yeah, that's the main point. Those conversations need to take place.
You just came after my shit joke, but then gave props to Steve Harloha's fart.
If you look at the results of something, you could see the intentions of the people that created the situation.
30 days of no power and water in America, probably 70% of the American population ain't gonna make it. And a lot of crooked government want to make money off of it.
The cops are minutes away when seconds count, guys. And we're just going to have to fucking own that as red-blooded Americans and take our stripes and go take our fucking country back.
It's that easy, yeah.
Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Night with Dave and Steve. We got a
There we
special
go.
guest today. He is Canadian. He's not politically correct. He's got balls of steel. He's got no filter. He's unfiltered. He's uncensored. He can't be canceled. He doesn't give a fuck what you think. He looks forward to offending you, and he aims to trigger you. If you can't handle real comedy, then this isn't the place for you. But if you appreciate real comedy and want to laugh, kick back, grab your popcorn, try not to choke on the kernels, hit that like button, share it out to everybody you know, and get ready for a damn good show. Aloha. Tyler Morrison. How are you?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be on the show. You guys seem way more chill than that intro. I'm ready to take your fucking country back. I don't even live there.
That's great. So, I have to ask you one question off the bat that has nothing to do with anything. I ask this to everybody, but
Sure.
do you believe in ghosts, aliens, and or Bigfoot?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I think that there probably is some sort of paranormal activity that, I think that, we're made up of energy. And I think that's partially, there's potential for that to exist. Aliens probably, and Bigfoot probably not. That's sort of where I'm at with that. Bigfoot, I believe in the fucking monster truck. It needs to come back. Okay? I just went down to Monster Jam and I loved it, but they weren't crushing any cars. Like they're just doing jumps and shit. Like, have we gotten that soft? We're not fucking crushing cars anymore.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Bring back Bigfoot is what I'm saying. Gravedigger rules, but we need Bigfoot back. Come on, keep him on.
Oh yeah, for sure. We grew up on Bigfoot.
I know, man. Great cameo in was it Police Academy 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah, how could you not watch those? I don't know that black guy, the one black guy's name that could do all the impressions. That guy is amazing.
Michael Winslow, Jonesy from Jonesy on Police Academy. He's an incredible talent, really. Like, I mean, he did the Jimi Hendrix impression where basically plays Hendrix with his mouth. He could do over 1,000 sound effects, but his Hendrix is incredible. Anyone that's never seen it, like especially younger viewers that probably haven't experienced what this guy's talent is, it's really unique. And he's got videos on YouTube and stuff. But I remember I was in Winnipeg at Winnipeg Comedy Festival. This would have been about 7 years ago because they didn't bring me in for a while after that one, and and they had Michael Winslow in the festival, and so we go to the after party at this bar, and there's these two broads just scrapping on the main street, just punching each other's heads in, and Michael Winslow walks up, woo, 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 doing the police siren. They just took off running. And like does those sound effects everywhere he goes. So if you're at this party, he's walking around, he's doing the Gizmo voice and like the Gremlins voice. I guess he did. He didn't do Gizmo. He did. I think he did that like Spike or whatever the bad.
yeah.
But
yeah.
I think Howie Mandel might have been Gizmo.
I think we all pretty much
anyway,
grew up on comedy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but no, I think Michael Winslow's cool.
Oh yeah,
over
great.
Over 1,000 too. That's crazy.
I mean, to me, he's the most underrated comedian out there, really. I mean, he's so talented.
Yeah, there's guys that have that. Every comedian kind of has an X factor, and he does have this like very unique talent. It's cool. And who else was really good with that was that Pablo Francisco back in the day. Pablo used to do a lot of sound effects and stuff like that. Like being able to do that really turns your comedy into sort of a 3-dimensional experience when you're watching it. It certainly enhances the storytelling and any bit if you can like add those different layers to it and use the different tools in your toolbox. It's pretty cool when guys are that good at it. I'm only okay at that shit. I'm a joke guy.
You were pretty good at the what's his name? The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous guy with your bit with that.
Oh,
that was pretty good.
You saw that one, huh? That was one of my older bits from I think it was from my first album that I did called Armed and Hammered. And just for a little context for anyone listening, and you can check it out. I think it's online. Is it on YouTube? I think it's on YouTube if you saw it. But they have like those World Vision commercials. Do you guys have World Vision in America? Is it called that, or is it something else? Like for the African kids? Yeah, and they have those sad commercials and stuff. And I was thinking like how ridiculous it would be to juxtapose Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous doing like a real actual what's happening with the money over there and just saying horrible shit. Like and it was when Coney 2012 happened, that's when the album came out. That's how old I am now. But it was when Joseph Kony, the warlord from Uganda, I believe they made that big documentary about stopping Coney, and so I did the whole thing about what Coney's actually up to with the fucking World Vision money.
Oh,
yeah, that was good stuff, man.
I did some research one day about these guys and all. Like I was going to give some money and donate. Did a bunch of research, and I was amazed at how little of the money actually gets to the places it's supposed to go.
It's really disheartening.
It is.
Yeah.
Like I think probably one of the things that people should start doing is like actually sponsoring those kids and like bringing them to America to like protect kids in schools. Like having like a child soldier in your school, no one would fuck around. Kids wouldn't be bringing guns in.
Right. Well, I think when I looked up the Red Cross, I almost positive that only 9% of the money donated went to the rest was like administration fees.
Yeah, it's wild. And you know what? One of the most flagrant things are these people who are the CEOs of these charities, and they're making 6 figures. Some of these guys are making like $400,000 a year, and just to be charity. It's like you really if I know these are big operations to run, and you want to be competitive and have the best person running it. But at the same end, if they really cared about their cause, they wouldn't be that egregious taking that type of money. I mean,
Right. That could be an
it
extra
really reflects.
$400,000 that goes back towards the kids instead of them
Yeah,
taking
it
it.
really does reflect. You can live off of less than that comfortably. Um, I mean, in Canada, we have a. I don't know if you guys have something similar to this, but we have a thing. It's called Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and
Yes.
Oh, yep.
they
Same
had
thing.
they got busted keeping like I think it was like 70 or 80% of the money from the charity for themselves back in the
Wow.
day.
I never knew
Yeah, it's
that. No
like
kidding.
yeah, I
Wow.
gotta have like 12 beers, at 5%. Get behind the
Right.
wheel of a car before I'm as selfish as them.
Well, that just remind me of two. Well, one is a little bit. You said that shows how old I am. One, but I was gonna ask is how long you been doing comedy. But then what you just said reminded me too that bit about the beer pillow. But I'll
Mm.
stick with the first question first. I just had to get it out when it was on my head because that was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, how
No,
long?
I've been doing comedy since I started when I was 18. So 2002, the fall of 2002 is the first time I ever did stand up, and I was like a pretty offensive comic out of the gate. Like it wasn't something that I, you know, became better at comedy and then started testing it. Like right out of the gate, I was being a bad little boy. I think people did not like me when I started. I remember this one show actually. Speaking of the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, I was doing this show, and there's like a bunch of like comics who became pretty successful on the show, or not a bunch, but a few of us have done pretty well with it. But this is when I was maybe 2 years into comedy, and a comic named Steph Tolev, who she's been in like Bill Burr's Netflix special and in Bill Burr's movie. She was on the show, and then this guy Jeff McHenry, who's one of the funniest comics. He's on Letterkenny. If you guys know Letterkenny, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I mean, they're pretty popular. I think they're in maybe on Hulu or something now. But anyway, they're both on the show. But I was maybe been doing like a year longer than them, so I was closing the show, and I remember doing. The crowd was like half older people, and then there's a bunch of younger people that wanted to see me do kind of what I do, and I start. I just go full guns. Like I don't have any other gear at that stage. But before I go on stage, I just see this lady in a wheelchair roll in, and then I'm like, okay, this might. Sometimes people act weird when there's like people in wheelchairs in the show for whatever reason, and then my dad was at the show, and I look at my dad, and I'm like, fuck, do I drop the wheelchair jokes? He goes, fuck them. So
Yeah.
then this old lady walks in with like a walker, and I look at him. He goes, "Oh yeah, you're fucked." So I go up and I do my act, and halfway through, or is early on in the act, there's like a whole bunch of people in the front row, and they turn their backs to me in some sort of protest, like they do not like me. And I don't know what's going on. I'm just doing the set. Other people are laughing, so I do my act, and then I find out afterwards that I guess it was the girl who was in the wheelchair that I didn't do the wheelchair jokes about. I was nice and cut them out because whatever. I thought, I don't want to lose the crowd. And this is back when I was younger, so I'd make a decision like that. I wouldn't make that decision now. But it turns out she got hit by a drunk driver, and that's why she was in a wheelchair. And I opened my set about a whole bit about how drinking and driving rules, and
Oh,
and, like,
oh,
all the people that were there with her were from Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they're protesting the act, and then, one of the guys went into the sound booth and tried to get my mic cut, and he was, like, fighting with the sound guy, and I had no idea this was going on, but I found out
Oh
afterwards.
my God.
Yeah.
wow.
But
Insane.
I learned something that day, and it's like, again, I didn't do my wheelchair jokes, but it's like, no matter what, you drop those jokes and you concede for that person, but there's going to be something else that you say that's going to piss off someone else. So you can't just drop a joke to please, to satisfy or or pacify a group of people. You just have to just be yourself and just fucking roll with it no matter what, and just stick to your guns, because you're never going to please everyone. Not everyone's ever going to like you, and just say what you want to say and fuck them all. That's really just, I'm glad I learned that when I was 19.
Yeah, that's true, because that may have answered one of my questions, which was, what was one of your toughest crowds?
Mm.
But
Well, that one was okay. I'm trying to think toughest one. There's the toughest ones are just when they think that they're better than comedy, or comedy isn't necessarily what they've paid to go and see. So like if you go and do sort of like a corporate event and they don't care at all about it, like they have a boss who when the boss is there, people act differently than if they came out to a stand-up show, right? And the other thing is this: when you do like a group event, and it's like, let's say it's a company, well, it's you against all of them, right? It's not like in a comedy club, it's pockets of people. So if someone doesn't like it and they're being a dickhead, you can call them out in like a comedy club, and everyone gets on your side because, like, yeah, we came to watch a comedy, not this asshole. But in a group of people like that, you call one person out, and it's everyone. So I've had a few really tough ones. I'm trying to think. Entertaining ones. Okay, so here's one. We're in it's a place called Grand Bend, Ontario. So it's near London, Ontario, which is southern Ontario, closer to Windsor, Detroit. So I'm down there, and it's sort of like a farm community. It's a very nice resort, and the only note that we got on the gig, it was for this agricultural company's Christmas party. The only note we got is just don't say fuck. Don't swear, but you can, do whatever. And Ed Hen, shout out. The so they give us like a pretty relaxed notes or whatever, but we know it's like a Christmas party. I got a couple buddies on the show. Host goes up and he's working pretty hard. They're not giving him much. They're pretty stiff. But he finally gets a big applause break on this, one bit that he always kills on. Then my buddy Tom O'Donnell comes up, and Tommy's hilarious. They love Tom until like near the end of his set. He starts getting a bit dirtier because he's running out of clean stuff. And like I had to rewrite his whole act on the drive to the show. He's only got the one gear. I had to like make a clean act for him on the way to the gig so he could do it. And right near the end, he starts getting dirtier, and you can feel them tense up. They're like, "Okay, enough's enough, asshole." And he wraps up fine. He does okay. Then my one buddy comes on, and it's not going so hot. Like the host comes on, and they start hating him, and he goes out on fumes. And then the next comic comes up. There's like four of us. My friend comes on, and I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but they're not liking him. He didn't come up to much energy, and they.
Oh, that's where he cuts out. He said his Wi-Fi is a little choppy, so if he cuts out, he'll be right back.
He'll come back. Just like a bad infection. Hey, shout out to the crowd.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in chat. Yeah. I know a bunch of people went live at the same time today, so I'm sure everyone's bouncing around. But
yep, I appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks. And shout out to everyone too. If you used to have a wrench and don't have one anymore, it's not personal. I've been saying this for over a month, and I looked last night, and I had 1,000 moderators, and I have a rogue moderator. I don't know who, so I basically took all of them away except my original moderators and my best friends. So if you don't have one, it's not personal. I still love you. I thank you guys for being here. It's just I had to start over, and
Mox or something. Yeah, he'll be back. He said that his Wi-Fi was going in and out.
Yeah, he's in Canada.
Hey, shout out to JD for the super sticker, man.
JD, yes, JD. Thank you, brother. Thank you, and shout out to Michael. started horse therapy, and we've been busy. He's doing awesome. That is awesome. Shout out to Michael and JD. And let me give let me do this for let me give this for Michael, because I also got rid of all my thank you videos for super chats because I'm working on some new ones, but I didn't get rid of this because we love Michael and JD and the family. So here you go. Will. Yeah, there we go. He's back.
Hey, sorry guys.
No
Hey,
worries.
John.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, the ghosts of Grand Ben want to cut my mic again.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, and Van Life. Van Life, you came in right after I just got done explaining it. But no, it's not the personal Van Life. I had over 1,000 moderators, and I had to start over. Plus, I had a rogue moderator that was messing with me. So it's nothing personal. But okay. So Tyler, so you left off. You said with had that energy. And then,
yeah, so my buddy's having a tough time with the crowd, and I can feel it starting to get more hostile. So I walk in, and I just hear, and my friend's from Montreal. All I hear is "Go back to Montreal," and so I'm like, okay, the crowd's starting to get pissed. And he just looks at me. He goes, "You know what? Fuck you, people." He goes, "I don't give a shit. I'm doing my entire fucking time. I'm not leaving till I'm done, and you can go fuck yourselves." And they're booing them, and there's 200 people here, and they're not happy. And so I still have to go on, and we're getting paid pretty good for this. So I'm trying to make sure we secure the bag. But I see this little old dude who booked us for the show, and he comes running across the whole ballroom just in a panic, just beelining over to me. He's like, please, you got to work clean up there. People want to leave. They want to leave. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm going to try and work clean for you. Like, let me see if I can tidy this up. And I just hear my friend on the stage. He's like to all the Christians in the room. And you just hear like a pin drop because these guys, this is a pretty religious outfit, I guess. And he goes, Merry Christmas. And then everyone starts applauding. I'm like, okay, perfect. Wrap it up. Then he goes, all the Jews in the room tonight. Oh, no. Everyone just quieting. And he goes, Happy Hanukkah. Hardly anyone claps at this. And then he goes to all the Scientologists in the room, go fuck yourselves. And he walks off the stage. And so the hosts are looking at him. I'm like, Craig, just go up. I'm like, don't bring me up right away. No credits, like no real intro. Just get me on stage. And my buddy's coming off the stage, the other guy, and I go start the fucking car. I go on, and I just look at this crowd. I go, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, I will not bomb tonight. So now I got their attention. And I go, I also guarantee you the next thing I say is going to get an applause break from you people. Fine folks of Grand Bend, I am your last comedian of the evening. The place just goes fucking crazy because they just hated comedy so much at that point. And then I had to do, I'd say, I was probably scheduled to do 40. I did 30 because they did not want anything. And it was the whole time just tap dancing on landmines. Anything that I say that, could have been maybe remotely edgy that I could have got away with, I can't get away with now because of what just happened. I've never come on stage to so much like toxic energy from a crowd. They really did hate us.
I was gonna say, because you can feel hats off to you because I can imagine how hard that would be to stand on stage and feeling that energy, and then just you still do your set. It's like, man, it's got to be hard.
Zero fucks given.
Yeah. So with that being said, like as far as hecklers, you deal with a lot of hecklers. Oh shoot, I think he froze up again. Yeah, I think he froze up again. Oh, there you go. He's
there
back.
We go. Sorry, boys. We're back. There we go.
So I'm not sure if you froze up, if you heard that last part or not, but like as far as hecklers, do you deal with a lot of hecklers, or is it?
Yeah, sometimes I don't get too many. I think this style of comedy that I do kind of brushes them off the plate a little bit. But at times, yeah, I've definitely had hecklers. I remember there was one that was a tough one. This guy is it Niagara Falls? Yuck, yuck. So Niagara Falls is such a tourist town, so it's a lot of drinking. It was a late show, and one of my buddies, he's on stage, and he's the middle act, so he's setting things up for me to come on and headline, and he's getting heckled pretty hard, and I could tell the crowd wanted him to destroy this heckler, and he was nervous to go off and maybe ruin the show for me because he's supposed to be setting up for me. And like afterwards, I was like, "Listen, man, like it's me. You can do whatever the fuck you got to do. I don't care if you fucking deep six this thing. I'll come on and fucking deep six it too. Like if someone's being an asshole, they need to be dealt with. Bottom line." And so he let this guy get away with it a little too much. And by the time I got on, I knew something was coming. But so I'm doing my act and I hear him yell something out, and it got my attention and I could just feel the crowd didn't like this guy the whole show because he's an idiot. But he's sitting off in the wings where it's very dark and you can't see him. So you can't see his face. There's nothing that stands out to like point to because obviously the visual is going to be the first thing that you can go after. But he says something. I'm like, and so I ask him, I'm like, hey man, like, what do you do for a living? Like, or what's your name? And he goes, Randy. Like, okay, what do you do for a living, Randy? He goes, I'm a trailer park supervisor. So I know he's giving me false information. He's pretending to be a character from the TV show Trailer Park Boys. He's just bullshitting, right? So I have nothing to go off of still. And when they lie to you, when they're giving you false information, it really often goes nowhere because you're not pulling anything real, and it just they're just jerking you around. And so those people you kind of want to like move on from. And I was like, do I move back into my act, or I just could feel if I went back into my act, I was going to lose the whole crowd because they just wanted this guy done. So I said, fuck it. I'm going back in one more time into the abyss because I can't see him. I go, who you with here tonight? He's like, I'm with my uncle. I'm like, oh, do you always embarrass? Yeah, I go, do you always embarrass the people that you go out with like this? I go, who you with tonight? And he goes, my uncle. I'm like, oh, so that's who molested you. And then the place just went fucking crazy. And it was just from then on, I just leaned on him. And they got up and like they stormed out. Like him and his whole group were gone. That felt good. Ran him right out of the building. And it was just because, this is someone who thinks that they can take over a show and hide in the dark. It's like that anonymous internet troll, but in the live room. Somehow I found.
So I have a question, Tyler. What kind of stuff do people like the most? Like what gets people bombing in the audience?
What gets people laughing in the audience?
Yeah,
it all depends. It really depends. I think the one thing to remember for comics, like the comics got to remember, is don't try and be too clever and cute. You can be smart, but the smarter the joke, the more clever the joke, the further away from the basket you're shooting. So you better be hitting, 3 points. You better be like be an archer if you're shooting from back there. But even if you're like, Steph Curry and that shit, they still paid to see you dunk. So get in their face. It's got to be primal. They want to hear some sex stuff. They want to hear jokes about drinking. Really, what are you there for, right? Like they're out on a date. They're thinking about getting laid after. It's it's in both their heads. It's date night. So like, I'm just there to lube the deal, boys. I'm setting you up, right? Like that's my job, right? Comedy's very primal, and if you can tap into those primal subjects and be funny, but still, I try and make them my own. I don't want it to be, like a hacky thing. Like it's like, okay, everyone does jokes about sex, but how do you apply it to your life and make it unique? And you can still be clever with it. I try and see like how clever I can be with like a very primitive subject and still get that effect of, you're dunking and you're not just trying to be, showboating out there.
Right.
I always found it cool to like, go down the line maybe 5 minutes into your intro and always come back to that first thing you started with. and then
Oh,
kind of
callback.
keep going to that all the way through the show, and that seems to hit pretty well.
It's nice to have those through lines, and crowds appreciate, that type of thing, and also they feel smart for getting it. Like it's a fun thing to implement into the act. I mean, just from like a craft perspective, sometimes I find that like it works. You can do it where you do a callback at the very end from something at the start, but if you like actually do the callback at the end of the bit, then it's actually just like kind of like a full circle thing on like a specific bit. It really wraps it up nice and brings it back. And then that when you put out like an album, that track can be played by itself and it's like kind of special. So it's cool to be
Right.
able to do those things.
Yeah, it's cool.
So speaking of specials, that one of your specials too soon?
Yeah.
What I gotta ask this because I actually watched that 3 times because it's hilarious. But there's the one dude in the crowd, and then at the very end, as you're walking off, he flips you off.
Oh yeah.
What was that guy's deal? Like, was he actually really giving off bad vibes the whole show?
I fucking hate that guy, man. He hates me. Yeah, this old dude was sitting front row in like, during my taping of my special, and he's mean mugging me the whole time. The front row hated my guts. A lot of people in the crowd hated my guts during my special taping. And you can just tell that like there's people there that were there to see me, but then there's a bunch of people that just, the Blue Jays just lost. They just came in to watch comedy. They didn't research who was playing. And I was recording my special. So I'm not, sometimes when I'm doing like a show, I'll have like my greatest hits to draw from if I feel the crowd needs to be warmed up a certain way and I can switch gears. But if I'm recording a special or an album, I have.
Oh no! Right at the good part.
Dun dun dun. It's all part of the joke, man.
Yep, that's all part of the joke.
There we go.
There you go.
Dun dun
You
dun.
got it yet? There we go.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a little bit more hardcore of the set that I do if I'm shooting a special than like a typical, if I always want to win, so I kind of have to meet the crowd halfway sometimes to get them to go further. But in this spot, like I have a very specific order of jokes that I'm doing, and you're either on or you're off. Fuck you. And we're just going. And so that's what happened there. And this old dude, he didn't, how to put it, about halfway through the set, and it got cut out of the special, but about halfway through the set, I walked about 30 people like from the show, like they're walking out because they're pissed off. They're mad about the jokes and offended. And then a bunch of my fans were getting kicked out because they're too drunk, which is awesome. That's just their style.
Those are good fans.
Oh yeah, but they're like my fans were getting into fights with like the people that didn't like it. So there's like all this stuff going on in the crowd while I'm trying to do the act. It's very distracting, and then the door guys are dealing with like kicking people out, and like the staff are dealing with dissatisfied customers that want their money back. And while this is going on, this old guy stands up and he starts fucking yelling at me, and like, 'cause he's offended, and I'm trying to. He doesn't speak English very well. He's English second language or maybe third, and I'm like, dude, like, in what fucking language would this even be funny to you? Like, of course you're not gonna like the show, and like the crowd was already like uncomfortable. So when I said that, it sounded racist. I'm like, fuck off. But he didn't like. He just heard all he understood was the swear words, like the curse words were the only words that he really probably got. So he just thought I'm up there being super filthy. Now I am being, pretty crass in the act, but there's no context for that guy. And he's like an older guy, and he's out. You can tell he's with his wife and maybe his daughter, and so he's proud and wants to defend their honor because I'm doing all this offensive material in front of them. And that's sort of I think where his head was at. That's what I'm reading when I'm on stage. But when I'm coming off stage at the end, he starts jaw jacking me. So I look at him and you can see, you saw this on the special, but if someone watched it at the
Yeah.
very end, I blow him a kiss like a bad guy wrestler. And you can see if you watch it, I blow him a kiss, and that's what fucking sets this dude off. And I don't even see him flip me off. I just keep walking because I just knew that if I looked at him and blew him a kiss, it was gonna ignite this motherfucker. I'm like, this is gonna
Yeah.
wreck his night. And I just kept going. Like, I mean, he's like he's in his 70s. I would have rinsed this old man. Like, you know, I don't want to beat up a fucking an old dude. Like I'm a nice guy overall. So I just go up to the green room. I didn't even think anything of it after, but I guess the old man wanted to fight me after the show. One of my buddies is like, "That old guy's looking for you. He wants to fight you." I'm like, "No, he doesn't." so,
And he didn't even
so
know why, really, because he really didn't understand
yeah.
anything you were saying. That's like,
But when we edit it, so we're editing the special. I did my guy Tyler Shazma, who's he filmed and co-produced it with me. He saw it when he was editing. He's like, the old guy flips you off. I'm like, are you
yeah.
fucking kidding me? Look at that little fish
You
lips.
blew him the kiss right there.
Oh yeah, that's bad guy wrestler 101 right
Yeah.
there. Just
That's-
heel. And I'm
and
smiling.
then boom,
Such
there he
and
flips
so
you.
then Shazma saw the finger when he's editing it, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we need to zoom in on the finger and freeze frame, and that's how this special ends. And it was just like the most punk rock thing to me. I thought that was it's
That
just a
was
classic way
awesome.
to end it. And you can tell there's bad blood in the room. The whole special, you can feel the bad blood, which
Oh
is
yeah, there was a few spots where I noticed they're showing the people in the crowd's faces, and they got that look, and it's like, yeah, it's a fucking comedy show, dude. Like,
yeah.
what the hell's your
Toronto's a pretty
problem?
woke city, and we went through some dark times in Toronto comedy with people that didn't like edgy comedy, and now it's back in vogue, right? It's the thing now. But yeah, I feel that myself and a few other guys really held it down during the dark ages. Uh, yeah,
Right.
that was definitely one of those specials, and people have been finding it on YouTube, and I think hopefully it just kind of becomes sort of like a cult classic, for people, to discover. That's really what you want, is just create a body of work that you're proud of, and hopefully, new fans, when they see you, they go back and go,
Right.
"Oh my God, this guy's got a bunch of shit. This is exciting."
Oh yeah, yeah. And for everyone in chat, I pinned the link for Tyler's YouTube channel at the top. So if you want
Nice.
to check out his channel, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, all the
And
subscriptions help.
that actually leads into my next question is how many specials have you done?
So I did. Trying to think. So there's the Too Soon, but before that, I did an album, and it was supposed to be a special, and that was the one with the Coney bit and the Africa one. That one was like, when was it? 2013. It came out, but it came out as an album. It was supposed to be a video special, but the guy that was recording it, this fucking idiot, shows up with one camera, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I was gonna fucking pay you for this. Like, it's a sold out show. We're recording this anyway. I ended up getting the album, but I do have like the one camera of that whole hour, so I just cut it into clips now, and you'll see them sometimes. I'm wearing a suit, like an old school. It's like velvet, black
Oh, good.
velvet, like an old school Tonight Show style. That's the first one that I put out was an album, and then the second one I did in 2015, that's called Impolitely Canadian. That you can see that on my Patreon. It's like $2, and you can get like access to pretty much my vault of comedy over the years. There's tons of shit on there. And then I did two specials in 2018 called Savage and Impolitely. No, not Impolitely. Sorry, Savage and Comedy Exile. So those two are are also on the Patreon. I'm probably gonna put Comedy Exile onto the YouTube channel soon. I think it's a fun one for people to check out. So, but yeah, it's all that shit's on the Patreon. For $2 or $5, you get all these different specials. So yeah, so there's and you can watch the full length video also. So I'll just count it as a special. Armed and Hammered, Impolitely Canadian, Savage, Comedy Exile, Too Soon, Burn the Village,
Burn
which
the
is a shorter
Village.
one,
Yeah, that's one I watched.
and that's on YouTube. And then Pimp Daddy. So there's 7 out there, and then I have a new one that's coming out. That's like I'm gonna drop this in the next couple weeks, hopefully. It's called the Running Rampant EP, and it's 20 minutes of me just dropping in on Yuck Yucks Toronto. It's like returning to the scene of the crime where Too Soon was, and it's a bunch of new material. There's maybe like 3 or 4 minutes of crossover material from Pimp Daddy, so there'll be a couple jokes you've heard, but most of it's new. So I talk a little bit about Israel, Palestine, and all the fun things that no one is going to enjoy. No one is going to be happy at the end of this.
Isn't to me anyway, because like Dave was saying earlier, we all grew up on comedy, right? So isn't that what comedy is to take real life scenarios or situations or whatever and make fun of it, right?
That's the goal. That's the goal. Just take, it's like a black mirror to society, and all these horrible things that happened. If you're upset by a comedian making a joke about it, guess what? You should have fucking been upset when it happened in real life, and you didn't give a fuck then. So why are you crying now, pussy?
Yeah.
It's just
that's why I love the name of the Too Soon album, because it's like, even like make an OJ joke. What, too soon? Or is it just died too soon?
Well,
like what's
Too Soon was supposed to be called Too Much Too Soon, but there was like an album by the Dead Boys, which is like, I think it's the Dead Boys. They're fucking awesome punk band, and they had one called that, and I didn't realize that. And then so I was gonna change it. The reason I was gonna call it Too Much Too Soon though was a nod to the movie Slapshot, because I love that movie, and it's when everyone's fighting right at the start of the game, and the referee just goes too much too soon, and that's what like the vibe of the special felt like. And then Andrew Schultz, if you've heard of him, the comedian.
I actually seen Andrew Schultz here in February of 2020 here in Hawaii. So.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, he's the best. He's a good buddy of mine, and he was nice. He came up with, he's like, you should just call it Too Soon. Like, that's like, I would love to see you with a special with that title. I'm like, okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? So that he kind of gave me that name for it. So
that is cool.
The original title to Too Soon, and that's what stuck. But yeah, there's
really cool.
There's not too many comics playing on that size of playing field right now. I'm going to see him in New York, headline Madison Square Garden next week. I'm excited to go watch. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. He's headlining Madison.
Sold out 2 shows. Yeah.
Wow.
For sure 2 shows he's got sold out. And then,
because I remember it was right before the whole pandemic that I heard he was coming to Hawaii, and there's not, like, even with music or whatever, there's not much, not many musicians or comedians come here, and I heard he was coming. I'm like, Andrew Schultz is coming. My wife's like, who? I'm like, Andrew Schultz. I've been following this guy for years. He's freaking hilarious, man. And we went. Yeah, it was a great time. I got to meet him afterwards, and it was really cool.
He's a great dude. Yeah, the people that hate him, they don't know him. He's a good guy. He legit is a really good guy. We did the Ron Jeremy roast together.
Matt and Alex and his whole crew, basically.
Oh, you bet, all those dudes. Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
love those cats.
All right, so can you tell us like your favorite joke? You got a joke?
Yeah. I got a few jokes that I like. For sure. Let me just think. Okay, so
not to put you on the spot, but
no, that's okay. I know jokes. Not my joke. Someone else's joke.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. So my buddy Jeff McHenry, the guy I said he's on Letterkenny, he used to have a joke back in the day. I just thought this is so ridiculous. He'd come on stage and he'd be like, "So, Shania Twain's parents died in a car crash. Oh well, I'd still fuck her." And I always thought that was like the
That's
best joke.
great.
So stupid. And then oh, Doug Stanhope always had a really good joke.
Doug
He's
is
one of
great.
my favorite. One of his older jokes was it's like, so I'm tit fucking I'm tit fucking my girlfriend. I think it's his girlfriend, whatever. I'm tit fucking my girlfriend, and she's like, no, he goes, I'm gonna, I want to tip fuck my girlfriend. She's like, well, how's that supposed to feel good for me? So that's simple. Right after I come, I'm gonna stop punching you in the face.
That is
I
good.
probably
Yeah.
butchered the joke, but I always like that one.
Dude, Doug Stanhope, man, that guy's he is hilarious.
Doug Stanhope's a legend. He's
Yeah.
and he's on my Mount Rushmore of comics, man. He's like just a strong body of work. It's just amazing. His specials, you can't point to a bad one in my opinion. He's definitely laid down the gauntlet many times. Underrated, but he lives the life he wants to live, right? On his terms. He does comedy how he wants to. He doesn't have to play industry ball.
Yep, exactly. And that's
That's the way.
That
True
was
legend.
man, I know Dave lost signal or something too. I was waiting for him to come back because I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
my favorite, or not really favorite, but the one that's stuck in my head since I was like 14 years old. I'll never forget this joke, but anyway, I'll go ahead and say it. Dave will be back soon. But
Yeah.
then it's because I was with Dave when we were like 14, and at the time he was dating this chick, and she kind of lived in the hood. We grew up in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh,
She
okay.
kind of lived in the hood, and her dad was like the head guy of like this motorcycle gang, and a very scary dude, right? So we go over there because the dad wasn't home, and we're just hanging out, and Dave and this girl are doing their thing in the back room, and the dad comes home, and I'm just like shitting myself because I'm like, oh my god, this guy's gonna kill me. I'm too young to die. I'm only 14. What I'm like, Dave, get out. Let's So dad comes in. He kind of knew what was going on, but he just grabs me and he's hey man, let me tell you a story. I'm like, okay. He goes, so there's this girl, right? She just starts at a new high school, and she goes in there in school, and then the most popular kid in the school comes up to her and he's like, hey, you want to go out this Friday? And she's like, oh yeah, I'd love to. He's like, all right, there's only one thing though. You have to drive because I don't have a license. And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll be there, And so she goes home and she's like, Dad, I gotta borrow the car this Friday night. And she's like, this is important. This is the next 4 years of my life. This is high school. This is really important. I need the car. And he's like, well, if you want to use the car, you gotta suck my. And she's like, what? Oh, that's disgusting. No way. And he's like, well, that's what you gotta do if you want to use it. And she's just like, oh, gross. So she just stomps up the stairs and she's like, ugh. So the next day comes, she goes back down to the den. She's like, Dad, you don't understand. I have to use the car Friday night. Please just let me use it. And he's like, well, you know what you got to do. And she's like, oh, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this shit. So anyway, so Friday night comes around and it's getting close to the time where she's supposed to be picking this dude up. And she's just like, fuck it, man. And she goes down. She's like, fine, I need to use the car. And so she goes down and then she pulls back right away. And she's like, oh my God, that tastes like shit. And he goes, oh, you can't use the car. Let your brother use it. But now remember, I always remember that joke because, like I said, I was 14, and this big burly motorcycle dude grabs me by the neck. He's like, "Come here, I gotta tell you the story." I'm
Yeah.
thinking he's gonna kill us because we're hanging out with his daughter when he wasn't home, And but yeah, that's like burned in my brain. You know what I'm talking about, Dave?
One,
Felicia.
two. Can you hear me?
Felicia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felicia.
Yeah, I just chucked my tablet across the room and restarted on the computer because the internet
There you
keeps going
go.
out.
But yeah, we can hear you. Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, I pressed my volume key and it turned my whole computer off. I was like, "Oh, really? This is new." I
This
missed the whole
street
joke, by the way, but I'll watch it again later.
Yeah,
street jokes are hilarious like that. Like there's nothing fun to me. There's nothing funnier than street jokes. Like they exist for a reason. They get recycled for a reason. And Norm
right.
Macdonald really would take those street jokes and make an art out of them. It was so fun to watch him do that. There's one my
Yeah.
uncle used to always say that I always thought was funny. I don't know if it translates in America, but he's like, did you hear about the Eskimo peeping Tom? Tommy took a look.
Look.
That's a stupid
pretty
joke.
good.
I probably fucking tell it once a week.
Tommy took a look.
It's one you can
Why
tell.
do you ask two dogs fucking?
$2.
Keepers.
So here's a serious question. I mean, this is dead serious. Is it true that women cannot be funny? Okay, it's not really that serious. But
No, there's some funny female comics for sure. I think that there's just way more guys that get into it. So like I guess the way to put it is this: the ratio of unfunny guys to unfunny women. There's so many more unfunny guys doing comedy, but you don't notice it because there's so many good ones too. Like there's just so many more. So if you look at the greatest comics of all time, that's going to be heavily populated with men. And if you look at like where comedy is right now, there's a lot more women doing comedy now than I think back in like the 80s and even the 90s. It's really become a little bit more of an even playing field. I mean, you still have more guys probably that are drawn to it, and there's probably reasons for that. I think it comes back to guys have to be funny to impress.
right, yeah. Oh, he cut out. That's right. Give it a few seconds. We'll do the frozen screen. It didn't work as quick as I thought it would.
Why you gotta freak me out, bro?
We're back.
There we go.
Someone
There we go.
didn't
Now I
like
can
that.
do this one.
Someone didn't like. But no, I think that the guys have to learn to be funny to impress women, and that's like a natural survival instinct. So maybe it leads to more guys getting into comedy. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we get bashed growing up in high school and all that, and you have to come back quick with something, or you will be bullied.
Well,
But
even that,
there's so many
there's
more female comics now that are funny. Like there's definitely some funny ones out there.
I'm so old, bro, that my favorite comeback of all time is still "Your Mom." I always say it.
The mom joke.
Yeah, like if they say you're stupid, I'm like, your mom's stupid. Like
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah, I will use that for everything.
That's not what your mom said last night.
Oh man, you're not working fast enough. I'm like, your mom ain't working fast enough, bro.
Was that the Bryan Cranston? You ever see that video with Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad? He's he's being interviewed or whatever, and some kid asks him, if he enjoyed Arizona. He's like, yeah, every now and again I come through and see your mom.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
That is like a mic drop though, because there's so many times that I've used comedy to get out of getting my ass beat growing up in Detroit. Trust me, I'm not a fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice.
Dave
to
was
be
my muscle.
Your mom's not a fighter.
See right there.
Couldn't fight me off.
So good. So good.
It's
That's
like,
perfect.
like whenever you get pulled over by a cop, it's like, where's the rest of the pigs?
Oh Lord, now we're all getting arrested.
Your mom's so fat, she jumped in and got stuck. Or wait, she jumped in. I missed that.
Jumped in the air, jumped in the air and got stuck.
Oh, jumped in the air. I gotta say it. Your mom's so fat. Someone told her it was chilly outside, and she stuck a bowl out the window. But all right.
Hey, Peppy, good to see you, bro.
But speaking of like, hey, Pepe. But speaking of jokes and everything, and I know in the last couple years I've heard a lot of different stories, male and female comedians, but like joke stealing. Have you ever been accused of a joke, or has anyone ever stolen your material?
I've definitely heard of like someone like taking one of my jokes or whatever, but I never really got into it. It was like sort of like a younger comic that isn't doing anything. You know, if someone steals your joke, you just keep doing. You have to make a decision. Is it going to be? Is it burned because they did it on a major special, or are you higher up than them and it's clear that you have record that you've done it before? You just have to make those decisions. There's so many parallel thought lines that happen too. If you like back in, I guess like 2012, 2013, there was that show At Midnight on Comedy Central, and they put out they have these things called hashtag wars on Twitter, and they come up with a topic, and everyone would be racing to try and make jokes on the topic. Well, if you play that game once or twice, you realize you're not the most original motherfucker. You know, 10, 20 people are going to come up with the same joke as you that you think is so clever. And because of the internet, you know, we see this more. Whereas back in the day, you know, there's less video and stuff like that and less opportunity to, you know, not everyone's got comedy specials. You know, you're probably not going to see someone doing the same joke as you, but they might be doing the same joke as you, just in a different city. So now we see it. It's heightened on the internet. Like I'll see guys graze my punchline on something or whatever, but you do have to do your best to try and come up with, you know, as original as possible, so that you're not having those things. And people like to, you know, people like to have that aha I gotcha moment online. So you do have to be conscious and try not to come up with shit that someone else can. It's usually the first 2 3 things that you come up with, someone else is probably going to come up with. So you got to kind of dig deeper, right? Unless it's like a current event thing where you're just putting it out there right away. You know, and if you're first to the punch, that's great. That's the goal, right? But if you're
Right.
doing a stand-up special and it's going to be out there forever, you want to try and be a little bit more original. But yeah, it's tough. You got so many more comics now too. People are going to think of the same shit. It's a lot more.
Yeah.
You know when it's malicious. Usually, you can tell if it's malicious. It's a little bit more than just one joke.
Right. That's because like we're going back to like the female comedians, and I know what's her name, Amy Schumer. Like she was catching hell for a while. I never even paid enough attention to know exactly what it was. I know it was she was stealing jokes or something along those lines, and
yeah, and it's tough to say too, because like at that stage she's got writers too, so you don't know if a writer is being lazy and just grabbing. You don't know. You know, it's not just the one person. I'm not an Amy Schumer fan, and I don't give a flying fuck what she thinks. But I'm not in the camp of like, you know, going after her for that shit. I just, you know, it's hard to say. I think at a certain point, some comedians do get a little bit lazy when they get famous, and they start maybe making the easier jokes. They'll take the low hanging fruit, and so that becomes a problem for them. They're under the microscope a little bit more now, too. So people see them do that. I think it mostly. Usually, stealing is a laziness thing.
yeah, that's
the whole world does that now with everything, you know. Like all the old
Mhm.
movies are being remade, songs.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Like
Oh,
the
Like what's
Rock.
the latest?
you
Go
put
ahead.
out a joke and it comes out as a meme. So some of these meme guys just steal our stand-up jokes and turn them into memes shamelessly. And these, like, what was it, that fucking guy? What was his name? Oh, he was famous. Like, he was famous and he got caught stealing comedians' jokes. I don't even want to say his name, but he's like some douchebag. And what was his name?
I can't
It
think
was
of
a big
anyone.
thing, but a radio DJ stole one of my jokes. I think it was about Drake, and it ended up going super viral. He stole it, and like mine was going viral, and then he stole it, and he had like a bigger audience, and then it went really viral, and then people started pounding on this guy, and he was such a cocky asshole, and so I got involved, and me and him had some exchanges, and people were coming at him, and he ended up like having to apologize and take shit down. Like, rare win for the boys. But I remember I was at a comedy club in Toronto a couple years ago, and this lady was sitting at a table with some friends, and it came up, and she's like, "That was you?" She's like, She was like the program head of the radio station. She's like, "I had to fly back from my Christmas vacation in Jamaica to deal with the problem. Like, we brought the
Damn.
radio station down." But it was like, again, the guy's arrogance. All he had to do was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't, I should have thought to credit you." All he had to do was just credit me, and then
Right. Yeah. And see, that's good that happened because I don't know. It's just a dick move, right? Like,
yeah,
especially
just and the
if they
arrogance
because
too.
they have a bigger audience, and then they do that. It's intentional, and it's like it's just a dick move, man. I just don't get
Right.
it that
Right.
I'm
how
trying.
people
Yeah.
can do that.
Pepe put a joke out there, bro.
But
And
yeah, is that the
trying to-
one? That's the person I was thinking of, but I couldn't think of his name.
Oh, Carlos Mencia. Yeah, there was a meme guy though that was stealing. But yeah, Carlos Mencia was a comic, and he was really big and like had a lot of stroke.
And then yeah,
Bro.
I think froze up again. But yeah, I
Hey,
know he
real quick,
went at it with Joe Rogan or something.
Pepe says I fought my mom. That's because she cooks burritos.
It's because she cooks burritos.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like that was the punchline, I guess. So, Pepe, can you expand that for me, please? Like you fought your mom because she cooks burritos. All right. What's up, Too Tall?
There we go.
Good to see
Now
you.
you're back. You're
Hey,
back.
We're
Tyler.
back. We're back from the commercial break. So Joe Rogan famously calls out Carlos Mencia at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and they put it out, and it goes viral, and that basically was like the end of Carlos Mencia's career. But before that really took its toll, Rogan got banned from the Comedy Store. I think from doing that. That's how much stroke Mencia had. Rogan was on Fear Factor probably at the time, but it was, they did a whole episode of that Dark Side of Comedy. I don't know if you've seen that series. It's like a Vice one, but they did a whole thing on it, and the toll that it took on Mencia's career is crazy. He was selling out huge theaters, and then all of a sudden it was like empty, like just
Right.
couldn't sell out clubs, couldn't hardly anyone coming out. So it's interesting to see about what happened to that guy.
Yeah, it's crazy how well, especially now, but how one person can ruin a career like that. But especially now, as far as Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan could end you just like that, but then again, he can end you by trying to help you. You know what I mean? Because I've heard stories about going on Joe Rogan's podcast, and then they blow up for like a year, and then all of a sudden they're just like left in the dust. Nobody remembers them.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be good if you got to be able to back it up. That's but with jokes and stuff. Again, there's common thought lines. Like I've definitely done a joke and then seen another comic had that or had it before me. I'm like, fuck. So then you got to drop it. And then I've seen it where like I've had a joke, and then like another comic does it after me, but I'm like, I'm not pissed off because like I already did the fucking joke. Like it's just common thought. People are gonna hit the same things sometimes, and
Right.
it just happens.
Right.
But then there is malicious. You can tell when someone's ripping like a whole fucking bit, like telling a whole story verbatim.
Right.
It's really clear, It's different with jokes where it's like play on words and stuff like that. That's the shit that's easier for people to come up with. Is those like if it's like a pun or a play on words, you're gonna have a lot more people can think of that than like a real life story that you're telling, and it's an original
Right.
story.
Because plus there's like for me anyway, there's male or female. There's people that I like, but I don't like their comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give an example, and I hate to say this. If you ever watch this, Mr. Brewer, I don't like his stand up. He does too many of the all the old voice stuff, and it's like just too much. But him as a person, dude, I'd hang out with that guy all day, and I think we get along great. I mean, I love the dude. I support him. I still go and watch his stuff and hit the like button and everything, but I just don't care for his stand up. But do you
And
have
that's
anyone
fair.
like that? Where
I'm sure I do. I like talking about Brewer. Like I've seen Brewer absolutely annihilate with clean material, which is interesting. Like Brewer, Brewer's kind of pivoted a little bit into this like sort of right wing territory where he's playing to those points. I guess he's playing to like a certain audience right now. Whereas before, I think he was a little bit more universal,
yeah,
where he didn't get he didn't get caught up into like he was less opinionated, I think, but when he was less opinionated, he was like one of the best universal comics out there. I personally thought in terms of like he could kill any room and do it clean or dirty. Now I think he's sort of is going
that's
one
true.
way, and I
And
mean,
don't get me wrong, I still think he's funny. I like his
oh
comedy.
yeah,
It's just
Bruce fucking
with
awesome.
with the noises and the to that part, it's just like, oh man. But I think it's hilarious. But you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
no, yeah, like everyone like there's certain styles that like it's not for you. Like I mean, I don't really like I like hard hitting in your face comedy usually, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? So like sort of like alternative silly wacky shit I don't usually care for that much. So I mean it's got nothing to do with those guys. There's an audience for that. I don't hate them for it. Um that's that there's room for everyone in this is what I say, and so I really hope people who it's just find the comics that you like and don't focus on the comics that you hate. You know what I mean? Like that's really it. The people that make the biggest noise and try and get comedians canceled and stuff, like that's so fucking lame. Like just find the
right.
comedy.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And
Look at
that
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 noise.
that goes for the truth with everyday life. Don't focus on the stuff you don't like. Focus on the good shit. Kind of
Right.
If
like
you don't like it, don't go
why,
see it.
kind of like what Tia Nana says. Why comedians are staying clear because people at colleges they focus on the negative shit and they try to get you canceled. It's like, man,
Well, it's like, why live negative like that? Why run around looking for something to hate? Why not enjoy your life and go after the stuff you actually like?
Right. You gotta
What's
have
the
your
point?
exactly.
positivity, man. Positivity.
Yeah, what's the point in bringing toxicity to someone else's enjoyment just because you
Sorry,
don't
boy.
agree with
Oh,
it?
there you go. He's back.
Yeah. But I got a question for him, real quick.
Sure.
So when you were younger, so what made you go down this road to become a comedian? You
Oh
always
yeah, like what made you decide
Yeah.
this is what I
There's a bunch of like little things I think that kind of added up. I was always into writing and always had sort of a different dark sense of humor. Teachers were starting to notice it. So I'd see the comments on the report cards and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. I always like getting like a good grade with a bad comment. That was
That
always
was
like
me.
a,
That
that was
was
It
a
me.
is.
great one.
All right.
It's like
And
getting
my
a
dad,
trophy with
my dad's really funny to me, and my grandpa was really funny. He's like very like he was sort of like quick witted with like wordplay and stuff. So I probably picked up some of that from him. But my dad's just a funny fucking dude, and I always laugh at his shit.
Second part of
My
my question. When you're done,
yeah.
uh,
So yeah, my dad works with me like on the business side of like the comedy. Like he's been like involved in my career and like just such a like huge supporter. But
that's
he's a
awesome.
funny motherfucker. I remember one time I was working my gas station, and he just he pulls up in his truck, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm fucking off to FLA. Gonna gonna eat shrimp and lobster till my asshole bleeds."
Oh
He
my
just
gosh.
wheels the tires and fucks off like Kenny Powers. I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Oh yeah.
That's
So my
great.
dad
Yeah.
definitely
So
had
the
that sense of
second part
humor.
of that question is this is what me and my brother always do. Like we're terrible about this. We ruin every song for everybody. You'll be singing a song and you just change the words.
I
Mm.
still do that.
Oh, I do it every time, like to make it something funny. Like, it rhymes. Like
Yeah,
at
I
the
got
end of
one.
go ahead.
Okay. So this one I can never hear this song again. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. I always change the lyrics to living in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
Been in
yeah.
a wheelchair.
Take my hand.
Don't worry about those stairs.
Right. Before you go down, you better say a prayer.
Tommy used to know how to walk, fell off his motorbike, and now he is fucked. It's tough. Gina missed her
Oh,
spine and
shit.
her legs. The tabs on her pop cans, that's what she saves.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can't listen to that song ever again.
I mean, we do it with basically every single song.
Yeah.
There's always a way to make fun of it. And
I've
Oh, I
been
that's how you
doing that for 20 years. Back when I was still 20 years ago when I was still living in Detroit and worked with my buddy, I'll just say JB. I don't want to say his name if he doesn't want it out there, but in between jobs when
No,
we're
he does.
driving, whatever song was on the radio, that's exactly what we would do. But it would have to be good though. We'd have to be, the words would have to rhyme, like you were just doing with living in a wheelchair. That's awesome.
yeah, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
a fun way to spend time if you're on like a road trip, whatever.
Oh hell yeah.
There's a lot of material just in music alone, really. There's so much bad music that you can make fun of. Teeny
Yeah,
bopper.
man. I love like coming up with a good parody song. It's always fun. And musical comedy, if done right, can be so good. But
Oh
there's
yeah.
so much bad stuff. I'll say Adam Sandler was the best. I loved those early
Oh,
Sandler albums were such huge influences on my comedy. You know, they're all gonna laugh at you. What the hell happened to me? The Steve Polychronopoulos to me is the funniest fucking comedy song of all time. If you remember that one, I don't know, but definitely watch the music video.
Did he do
The
that on
music
Saturday Night
video,
Live?
what's that, sorry?
Did he do that on Saturday Night Live?
No, this one's edgier. It's
Oh,
but everyone's in the video. It's got, so Norm Macdonald's in it, Rob Schneider, Spade,
oh,
Colin Quinn, all the boys are in it, and it is unbelievably funny. It's worth it. To me, it's the best. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Steve
The one I
Polychronopoulos is like my personality.
The
so
one I
growing
think
up,
of all the
yeah,
time with Adam Sandler is, and I still sing it to this day when I'm like, if I'm cleaning up around the house or whatever, I just do the mop, mop, mop all day long. Mop, mop, mop while I sing this song. Or Sloppy Joe
Yeah.
Slop. Like, yeah, he was,
Oh yeah.
Hanukkah,
I think he
the
was
Hanukkah one.
underrated back then for his comedy because he got more
Ode to
famous
My
from his
Car,
acting.
Oh,
piece
Adam
of shit
Sandler's
car.
probably one of my favorite.
So funny.
Which one was your favorite, Creek?
I like Adam Sandler. He's one of my favorites. I like
Oh, nice.
Cat Williams and Jeff Dunham. stuff like that.
Yeah,
Cats.
Jeff Dunham, another Michigan boy right there.
Oh, he's from Michigan, isn't he?
I think if I got that
Tim
right, if I'm
Allen
thinking
from Michigan.
Jeff, yeah,
Love Tim. Good
The
stuff.
snitch.
Right.
The snitch is from Michigan.
the snitch. Yeah, there's
He was. I don't know if you got that. Well, he went to jail for coke.
for coke.
He
Yeah,
had to, and he had to inform on a few people to get out.
yeah.
Got these titties on rock and roll.
But like Home Improvement is one of my favorite shows, so
That
I'm
actually
glad.
boosted his career, didn't it? I mean, well, that it straightened out his life, I guess.
Straightened out his life.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I'm glad that Tim Allen did what he had to do because I love Home Improvement, man. That show is fucking great.
They tried to cancel him. It just didn't work. But they tried
Right. Well,
hard.
yeah, because when he started blowing up with the Home Improvement and everything, and then I guess he got like a DUI or something or drunk driving. And then, but same thing. That's why, people get canceled instead of, oh, I'm so sorry. He just grabbed it by the balls. He's like, yeah, that happened. I did it. That's how I think I think that's how you avoid getting canceled. It's like,
yeah,
fuck you. If you don't like it, turn the channel.
Also, like Tim Allen, I've never met him, and I'm sure he won't want to meet me after this podcast, but or maybe wants to punch me in the head. But I'll say this: like Tim Allen, he's had some massive success. Like there's very few people that can say they had the success that he had in comedy, but he definitely seems like off the screen and just when he's himself, like he seems like he's like not that warm of a dude, and I don't think he hides it either. I think he's kind of a dick, from what I've seen,
Right.
and I can respect that. Like, how good of an actor are you?
Yeah, that is true.
Pretty fucking good.
I mean, I can't think,
Like
but
America's favorite dad.
I've heard about a few people that I can't think of at the top of my head, but yeah, same thing. It's like when they're off camera and in their own life, it's like they're a complete douchebag. But when they're on camera, they're lovable, and it's like, oh, this guy's great. And then you meet him in real life, and it's like, screw this dude. Right?
Like Ellen DeGenerate.
Right.
Hey, leave that dude alone. I fucking love that guy, man. Once I fucking heard Ellen was mean, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She's like, give me my coffee, punk.
Sending people home to fucking have showers. It's like, don't you eat pussy, Ellen? Like,
one thing I did like about that show was when she had guests and she would scare the crap out of them with like a box next to the person, and they just jump out of the box and scare the living shit out of them.
Some mean-spirited shit Ellen was
But it
into.
was hilarious. Oh. Justin Bieber, I think, jumped about 10 feet.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. Did you grow up on Saturday Night Live at all?
Well, did I like Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, like old school, like Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, all that kind of stuff.
I love that stuff. So I'm a bit younger than like that era, but I watched all that old stuff. Like I went back and watched it all.
Super Bassmatic 2000, and remember the Samurai Deli?
Oh yeah. So like when I started watching Saturday Night Live, it was Norm Macdonald was the Weekend Update. Will Ferrell was in the cast. It was pretty funny stuff, and all those dudes from the generation or the cast right before that, they were all becoming movie stars. Farley, Spade and Sandler, and
I miss Farley, man.
Oh my god,
those were the SNL.
So that was like the golden era, and then Mike Myers and Carvey right before that. So like Wayne's World, I grew up with all that stuff, and I definitely went back and consumed as much Saturday Night Live. I was obsessed with Saturday Night Live when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, all through high school. I love that shit. I love the Eddie Murphy. I watched all the classics.
Oh,
Dan Aykroyd is one of my favorites. So like big influence. My biggest influence probably ever though as a writer is a guy named Michael O'Donoghue. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Michael.
He's he was the original head writer for Saturday Night Live, and
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
he wrote on the National Lampoon before that, and then came into Saturday Night Live, and he
I didn't even
was
know
just
that.
this ruthlessly sharp, dark writer, and then he'd play. He'd be in some of the sketches. He was in the first ever Saturday Night Live sketch with Belushi, the one about where he's the English as a second language teacher, and he's the feed your fingertips to the Wolverine sketch, and so like that's the first ever Saturday Night Live sketch, and O'Donoghue's in it. But there's a book called Mr. Mike, The Life and Work of Michael O'Donoghue by Dennis Perrin. It's really good book if for anyone who's a fan of the old Saturday Night Live and just dark comedy in general. I mean, he certainly didn't fuck around when it came to offensive material. He was a trailblazer, and he died pretty young. He had, I think it was like a brain aneurysm. So, but when he died around that time, like Tarantino was starting to hang out with him. Like we could have seen some pretty cool collaborations happening on that front if he hadn't have passed away so young. He wrote Scrooged. He wrote the movie
Oh, wow.
Scrooged. And if you go back and watch that, it's pretty fucking dark. And he was pissed at like the final cut because there's shit that they changed of his. It would have been a little bit edgier, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of shocked me the first time I watched that movie. I was like,
It's a
wait,
great movie.
they're gonna bring out girls like dancing with their legs up in the air, and I was like, whoa, this is a different Scrooge altogether. Maybe we won't have the kids watch this one.
There's another one. There's this made-for-TV special that he did. That he got his own special somehow on NBC called Mr. Mike's Mondo Video, and it's like it's so fucking out there, right? It's definitely bizarre, and they have who is like Bill Murray, Aykroyd, all these dudes are in it. Like I don't know if Belushi's in it, but like all these guys are in it. It's pretty interesting to go back and watch. There's like a scene where they're just throwing cats in a swimming pool, and like
Dude, Super Bassomatic 2000, that was the craziest thing I ever saw. It was
that's a
like an
great actor.
infomercial. Yeah, putting a bass in a blender and be like, it slices, it dices, it purees. And all of a sudden you just
Aykroyd
see
is
this
amazing.
fish just and you're
Damn.
just like, wow.
I haven't
Just
seen
on
that.
TV. Oh, it's great.
It's really funny. I'd love to
I
meet
haven't
Dan
seen
Aykroyd.
that
He's
either. That sounds
Canadian. I've never met him
hilarious.
though.
Bill
He's
Murray
a,
is my favorite, I think, of all time, though. He's really cool in real life. Like, he's just
Murray's
Norm
awesome.
Norm Macdonald, like you were talking about, that man, that just it's like he wasn't even trying to be funny. He was just being him. That's how I
Yeah,
always looked at him. Like this guy's just like God given talent, man. He's just being himself, and I can't stop laughing.
kind of
he was
off
so good.
topic. I just watched the new Ghostbusters.
Was it good?
It was pretty decent, but at the very end, well, I shouldn't ruin it, but
Yeah,
all
don't
the
ruin
old
it.
the cast is actually in it though.
Yep.
It's like they come out and I'm like, wow, these guys got old, but
Mhm.
awesome, pretty good movie.
I really like Bill Murray. I had a meeting with a guy. You guys remember Joe Flaherty? He just passed away. He was from the SCTV and Happy Gilmore. He was the Jackass guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He's like a comedy legend. He's so funny. And his brother David Flaherty was a producer and writer and worked on a bunch of stuff with him. And remember, and David passed away too. Like both great guys. Rest in peace. But
Mhm.
I had a good meeting with David one time, and he was telling us like, he used to live with Bill Murray back in the day. He's like, Bill Murray did not give a fuck about any of this shit. And this is before he even like blew up. Like Bill Murray, he goes, he didn't have ambitions to be a huge movie star. He wanted to take acid and live in fucking Colorado. Like that was that
Really?
was like as far as he was thinking ahead. And then next thing you know, he just gets it more into it. But it was just interesting hearing a guy talk about like where Murray was at the time,
Right. And
but
that's what I
he
hear
still
about.
kind of is that, he is that against the grain enigma.
That's why he's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like same with Bill Murray and Adam Sandler, I hear in like their real life, they're like the most down to earth and coolest, they're just like we were saying, how some actors or comedians, once they hit it big, they're kind of a dick. But
Yeah.
these guys,
It's tough. Like, you probably once you start to like get popular, I would imagine it's tough to control the ego. You'd have to, you're not used to that type of adulation. You're not used to those type of, yes people around you. It would be
Yeah.
hard to manage. You'd probably have a couple years to adjust to that, and then you have to find your real self there.
It's also hard to be as a comedian to not be in character, literally walking
Yeah.
around in your daily life. It's like your wife, like I tell my wife jokes all the time. She doesn't laugh at all. I could tell the same jokes at work and I got them cracking up in stitches. But it's like, you know what I mean? But I'm like trying to be a walking joke because I want to enjoy my life.
My wife hates my fucking jokes. It's the best.
Exactly. Like they never.
my wife doesn't get my joke. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's funny." She's like, "What
That's
part?"
because we're from Detroit, bro.
Yeah, I'm from Detroit. She's from
Yeah.
Hawaii, so different cultures. But yeah,
Do you guys ever like run into like Eminem back in the day when you were in Detroit? Like, cause you guys
Kid
would have been
Rock.
around.
but Kid Rock though.
Yeah, Kid
Kid.
Rock.
Yep.
Kid Rock.
He
Yeah.
It'd
wasn't
be
named
cool
Kid
if he'd have
Rock.
been
though.
up on Eminem though. He'd have been like chicken Slim Shady.
We used to
Yeah.
try to rap. Me and Steve would get like a
Yeah.
hotel room and have a karaoke machine and stay up
Nice.
all night trying to make stuff.
We were so good that nobody ever heard it.
And we lost all the
I
tapes
love it.
too. It's like, come on, we got to find the tapes.
Kid Rock. I met him once. I was partying with him and Ric Flair and like a bunch
Ric
of people
Flair,
around.
love
Like,
it.
is it Kid Rock's bar after the Ric Flair final match? Because I did the Ric Flair roast, and so I was kind of in that like around that scene. So it was. I was just telling a buddy like how funny is like we got a fucking party with Kid Rock. Like I gave Kid Rock a beer and cheersed him, and I'm like, oh, like in my mind, that's fucking awesome. You ask Kid Rock about it, he doesn't fucking remember me at all. It's like the most
No.
insignificant moment of his life. But unless he
Like
saw the road, then he might know who I am, but probably not.
I met Darren McCarty in the bar like 5 times, and dude still don't remember. He gave me a puck over the glass. He still don't remember me. Like,
So you
hey,
guys
bro.
would have been Probert fans then.
Oh
I was
my
just about to
God,
say
yeah.
we met
Boy.
Bob Probert at a Ram's Horn on Telegraph and 5 Mile.
Yeah, we were together when that happened.
Yeah, that's the night
Now
I
we're
lost my
talking,
wallet
right?
too.
Yeah, he
Now you're
rolled in
talking
on a
about
Harley, and
He rolled in on a Harley and he had a hooker with him.
all dressed in leather, both of them, black leather all the way up to the neck.
Bob Probert's the coolest motherfucker that ever lived, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That guy was an absolute weapon. Anyone that's listening, go on YouTube, fuck my stand-up special, get into a Bob Probert hockey fight rabbit hole and just treat yourself. This guy had I want to say 260 fights in the NHL alone. Heavyweight champ, the greatest of all time. There's no one better.
No.
Nah, yeah, me and Dave used to go to Red Wings game and get the standing only back at Joe Louis. Well, they got the new one now, but just to watch Bob Probert fight. We didn't care about the game. Where it's like Bob gonna fight.
It's wild because if you look at like that time frame, you see the rise of Bob Probert becoming the heavyweight champion of the NHL and the volume of fights that are going on. Every fight takes on like a title fight vibe at that point, and it's just exciting.
Oh yeah.
But that's when Mike Tyson is rising, is at the exact same time as the boxing champion. So it's like it's really a cool time for violence.
Right?
It was
Probert
like
could
getting
play
a
the
2
game.
for 1, dude. You go to a hockey game that you love, and then you get to see someone fighting too. It was like, yes, this is like my sport.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize this, but like Bob Probert could play the game. You know what I mean? Like he was an all-star. He broke Gordie Howe's playoff record in I believe '88 or
Wow.
maybe 87 when he had over 20 goals that season and like I think he had like 300 penalty minutes, and he's the champion of the NHL for fighting. And then the playoffs come, he breaks Gordie Howe's playoff record. And it's not like he's just feasting off of Yzerman. Yzerman was injured. Probert was carrying,
Stepping up.
a lot of that load. And then they lost to Wayne Gretzky. So what are you gonna fucking do, eh, boys?
Oh, hey,
When Prime Gretz beats you, not much you can say.
I'll lose to him.
Yeah. And they all the Wings got in trouble for partying at Goose Looney's in Edmonton. They got Peter Klima and Proby were out past curfew during the playoffs, and they got blamed for the loss. Ooh.
Oh, really?
You know what?
I never
Oh,
heard that
Steve,
one. Oh, shit.
remember when we were Ramshorn? Do you remember what he said? I just remembered it because they had just lost the playoffs. And I said to him, I didn't want to bother him, but I'm like, hey, man, don't worry about it, bro. We're kick ass next year. And he's like, damn right we will. And then I'm so stupid. I'm like, hey, could I get your autograph on the bottom of my coffee? What was that? Those things
There
under
was
the coffee?
those little round things that you at Ramshorn that you
Yeah, like
like
table
a
savers.
coaster.
I don't know what they call them, but yeah. And then I felt so stupid. I'm like, why did I do that to that poor guy? I asked him for his autograph.
Yeah, I did it too, man. I still have it somewhere. I don't know
I just
where, but
when I left, I'm thinking how stupid. I made a guy write his name on a piece of paper for what? That's so
Because he's a
random.
legend and you don't know what to do at that point. Like he's
right.
becoming a legend at that point. But I'll say this: my wife, when we were just dating, she bought me a Bob Probert autograph jersey. This is before he even passed away. She bought me a Bob Probert autograph jersey. I'm like, I'm marrying her. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
like that was the move. You know what I mean?
King.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
She fucked up.
That's similar to my wife. She bought me a Camaro,
There you go.
and I was like, wow, this is the one for me.
I need to rethink my life decisions. Mine ain't bought me shit.
She's
And
done.
So, you have any specials coming up, Tyler?
Yeah, well, I just put out the Pimp Daddy one that just came out, but I do have. I was saying earlier, Running Rampant is coming out, and it's a shorter one. It's about 20 minutes, but it's me dropping into the comedy club in Toronto and having a good time. It's a
Okay.
lot of new stuff, and I think you guys will enjoy it. And then I'm building towards another one, but I just started kind of taking that stuff to the lab. I turn over material pretty quickly though, so I could see, in a year or so, being ready to record the next run of stuff. I just want to make sure that it's super polished. I want it to be everyone you do, you just want to level up, or at least
Oh yeah.
you don't want people going, "Oh, that wasn't as good as his old shit."
I had a great
right.
job back when I was 17. I worked in Dearborn at Paisano's Cafe, and in the basement they had Joey's Comedy Club. And
Okay.
I was just like a waiter, busboy, but every Friday, Saturday night I worked, and I could always hear the comedy for free and
Yep.
work
Is now
the room.
what's that one, Dave? That's over. Shit, I don't even remember the roads. I haven't been there in so long. But
It's
shit,
Plymouth.
man. Oh yeah, in Plymouth. Yeah,
It's the
that one.
same
The one
one. They
in
moved
the
it.
attic. It's
Yeah,
in
they
the
moved it
attic.
from Dearborn to there.
Right. Yeah,
It's
I've seen
Dearborn
a few
changed.
shows there. It's
People
really
didn't
cool.
get the jokes.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know too many of the clubs in Michigan. Like, there's the Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, and then there's like Dr. Grins. That's in what the fuck is that?
It's a fabulous name.
Dr. Grins. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
I forget. It's in Michigan. It's not Detroit. Anyway, yeah, I got to try and get down to the U.S. I'm hopefully getting my visa so I can tour down there. That'd be nice to expand into that market. Right now,
I'm
just in Canada.
I have like a serious question. When you're in Canada now, you do all these jokes in Canada, and some of our friends have told us lately that like they're cracking down on speech and stuff on YouTube, and that they
Yeah.
can't do certain things, and like the police will show up at your door and stuff like that. So I'm wondering how that works. Like,
Well, I mean, Canada's definitely getting gayer. I don't, I don't know what the fuck they're, I don't know what the
But
fuck our government's trying to prove. But no, I've never had any problems with
okay,
any of that. But it's something that's happened in a couple like rare instances. But because it's happened, there's been dangerous precedents that have been set, and we see there's a couple bills that are being put into legislation or they're trying to like pass that are around free speech and stuff like that. And again, it's supposed to be in the language is loose, so it could end up applying to comedy. It's supposed to be, to protect kids online from hate speech or from like predators, and then they throw in this hate speech stuff, and then it gets, you get into hate speech, it gets a little dicey with comedy.
interpretations are different. Yeah.
Yeah, people can
Right.
interpret comedy differently, and there's these subtleties that we do, and satire becomes up for debate, and that's where we get into a problem, whenever someone's in power for too long, that's when they start fucking around with speech. You know what I mean? They've fucked up the country enough already. Now it's time to what else can we meddle with? They always try and do this shit when
Right.
they've been around too long. So you got to vote these pricks out, and then you deal with the other side, and then don't let them stay for too long because they'll get fucking
Yeah.
fascinated with it too. There's none of these politicians are your friend. They're not our
They,
friends. They're politicians. They're
thank
fucking
you.
losers, and we used to beat the
Yep.
shit out of them in high school. And this is their power trip, and they're getting rich off
Exactly.
of our backs, and it doesn't matter what side. That's the problem in America. This two-party system where it's so divided, and they just play you fuckers off against each other, and it's happening in
Yep.
Canada. But we have a multi-party system, but they all suck too. They're all douchebags. These politicians, man, they do not care about us. It's a
I agree.
very rare instance where you find
Absolutely.
a true gem, and so
And I,
and that guy will get shot.
I say this all the time, and I the last time I said it was this morning actually, and that's how often I say it. But it doesn't matter if you're left or right, red or blue. The government doesn't give a fuck about you.
That's it. That's it. It's
And
us. Like we got to be. We can't. We need to. The edgiest thing you can do right now is be open minded, and I think that's the thing to to think about, because they play us off against each other and they want us fighting because while we're fighting
Mhm.
we're distracted, and what are they doing? Fucking going
Yep.
right to the bank with your fucking money, with our money, and there's they're off doing whatever the fuck they want to do and just keeping it weird, keeping it uncomfortable
Right.
for the lower,
And they're
class.
doing that with our money and
Hmm.
blowing it, but then they're the same ones that give us credit scores when
Yeah,
they're trillions in debt. It's like, wait a
and
minute, how does that
and
work?
like the Joe Biden, Donald Trump, stuff like these guys are like big personalities, and it's a big smokescreen. I mean, Trump is hilarious. He cracks me up. Um, like as a Canadian, Trump has not been good to Canada when he was president of the United States. But we have Justin Trudeau, who is like probably the worst guy to be our prime minister when you have Trump as your president, because Trump knows that Trudeau's a little bitch, and he's gonna make him his bitch. So like that's not good for our country. We get into a trade war, and it's it's gonna a guy like that knows how to bully. And
Yeah.
but to me he's hilarious in and of himself, but he's not a good guy, and Joe Biden's not a good guy. No politician that got that far got there by being a good guy.
Right.
And
Absolutely, man.
it just sucks to see um the left wing in America. They suck off Joe Biden so hard, but then the Trump supporters suck off Trump so much, but Trump doesn't give a fuck about them. Like Trump would not have a beer with us. He
Right. Exactly. He's not gonna buy you a pizza and be like,
no, he's
"Look,
not.
okay, look, I told you I was gonna come to your house and have a pizza, but I didn't do it, did I? I didn't do it."
He went to Chick-fil-A the other day and bought them all milkshakes. I saw that on TV.
But and
Yeah,
again, I do not hate Trump at all. Like I just, but I don't, but I think that the people that look up to him they don't realize that he doesn't give a fuck about them. Justin
Right.
Trudeau, he doesn't give a fuck about us. That guy's I don't know. I used to be friends with Justin Trudeau on Facebook, and then he defriended me.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're kind of screwed over here, dude. We're just trying
It's
not
kinda
to
sad.
go to World War III. You know, we
That was
don't
the
know who
only
to
black
vote
friend
for
I
anymore.
had.
Black friend.
Wait, real quick, I want to give just for the audience that's watching right now, I want to give them just a couple minutes of your latest stand up.
Oh, sure.
Just
I'm gonna
to
grab a beer.
see a little bit to give them an idea.
Good timing.
So, oh, there you go. Yep, bathroom break. There you go.
This is a place where time isn't measured in seconds, minutes, or hours. It's measured in beer. For example, when I call a cab company, I'm not like, hey, be here in 15 minutes. No, I'm like, hey, be here in 3 beers. And in 15 minutes, that cab driver will show up after he's had those 3 beers. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so great to be back doing stand-up comedy. And like the second this whole pandemic thing ended, I was like so excited. I celebrated a little too hard. Got so wasted, I puked in a pool. It was an Uber pool. Just great to be around groups of strangers again, you know? But that's the thing, like I don't trust Uber at all, right? I don't trust Uber. Sounds a little too German to me, you know? And we all know what happened the last time the Germans were responsible for transporting large groups of people. They didn't get to where they wanted to go. We don't have Uber here at all. We just got a fat chick who doesn't drink. We call her Uber XL. Or sometimes we go by her original nickname, Uber Eats.
Right.
I need to take cabs because I'm a terrible driver. One time I crashed my car into a ditch, almost killed my ex-girlfriend because she was sleeping there. Yeah, they don't call me Ditch Pig Daryl for nothing. Yeah, it wasn't just the tires squealing that night.
All right. So yeah, if you guys want to see the rest of that, you have to go to the pinned comment, which is Tyler Morrison's YouTube channel, and you can watch it there. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. It's hilarious. And that's just the first minute and a half. And I laughed the whole way through.
That one was what, 38 minutes long or so?
Yeah, 38. Yeah. It was how do I put it? A little bit different from my other stuff. Like I was doing it in a theater, so I performed it a little bit more. There's a little bit more longer form stuff than, just set up punch. I did a little bit more storytelling, stuff like that. So I kind of evolved it a little bit, the style on this one. But yeah, it was a fun special. People have been pretty positive about it, which you never know. You put your special, you put your art out there, and then it's like it's out there to be criticized. And I've been pretty happy with the response that I got from. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Right.
You get head sometimes.
Out of all your material, what do you think was your best?
Savage is probably the one that I worked on the longest. The material.
Okay.
Actually, no, well, the first one I worked on longer, but it wasn't as good. But like in the one I did in 2018, I did I've been working that material in the clubs for 3 years really hard, and I was dialed in, and that was before the pandemic. And then too soon, I did not too long after that, like maybe was it like 2 years after. So it was too soon. I worked on that a good amount too, but I think Savage was probably my best material at that time in terms of like I worked on it the longest. Had the most shows ramping up to it. But the special, like the video quality wasn't as strong. So I'm probably gonna do a recut of that for the public. I want to do. I'd like to do like a re-edit of that and then put it out. Maybe just cut out some of the more, or just put out the more evergreen material from it because it does hold up. But yeah, I like that. I like that one. Burn the Village it holds up pretty well, but it's a shorter one. It's Burn the Village isn't like a full length special. It's kind of like a mini one. Pimp Daddy, I'm coming out of the pandemic on that one. I'm more excited about the next one every time, so I don't like. I enjoy. I'm happy with the race I'm running. I think every time I put something out, I've been happy with it for the most part. You know, you've been doing this. You do this a long time. Like the one from 2015 or whatever. It's still making me money, so I can't fucking hate it.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Like I've evolved since then, so it's like you cringe watching your older shit, but I think from 2018 till now, I've been like super happy with everything I've done, and like I could watch it now and still be cool with it. Like at this point,
Right. Yeah.
that's sort of,
And that's what's cool about now too, is I think from 2016 to like 2021, 2022 is when the government did a fucking fabulous job at dividing everybody, right? But then I think around 21, 22, that's when a lot of people started coming to their senses and going, yeah, this government shit, it's us against them, not really dividing us. And I think that's gonna help you a lot in
I've
the
kind
near
of
future.
purposely on the last couple specials, I've done more evergreen material where it's like not really current event stuff. I kind of want it to last forever or for as long as you know what I mean. I want it to be funny for as long as possible. So I haven't really gone in on some of the issues that are happening of just broader subjects and relating it to me. But that what I've been kind of the model that I'm working on now is sort of do like a 20-minute like shorter special that like handles a little bit more of like what's going on in the world, and then do the more evergreen thing as like a full length, like 40-minute to an hour, depending on how much I have. So I might start going to like a 2 special a year type thing, but one's like a shorter one, so I can package that material together. Because you want to be relevant as a comic and talk about what's going on, but that shit burns out.
Right.
Everyone's
Yeah. Especially when it's something that is huge at the moment, but it's one of the things where in 2 months everyone forgets about it. So in 20 years, they're going to be like, "Oh, that happened? I don't even know."
In 20 years, you can watch Too Soon. In 20 years, you can watch Pimp
Right.
Daddy, and the material you'll get it. Like it's not
Exactly. Yeah.
too steeped in like current event references and stuff like that. So it's more universal, I'd say. And same with like Burn the Village also. But whereas like
Burn the Village is really good. That's let me see. Well, let's see if we can't give the audience first 30 seconds of that one. Let's see if I can.
that one's in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, the most Canadian place of all.
Wow.
That's the epicenter, the Wild West.
It's comedy, eh?
It's classic.
Yeah, keep it going for all the comedians you've seen so far tonight. My name's Tyler Morrison. I'm from a small town called Bracebridge, Ontario. Thank you.
Wait, I gotta ask, what did that guy yell? I didn't catch that last time.
Oh, I didn't hear anyone yell there. It might have been the echo.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I thought I was just
Yeah.
like, I didn't catch that.
I'm from a small town called Bracebridge, Ontario. Thank you. So it's nice to be here in the big city of Saskatoon. Saw a couple lesbians today. Fucking sweat. Things are going pretty good. Started watching basketball again recently. I realized I hadn't been watching basketball for a long time because I didn't even realize that New Orleans had a basketball team and they named it the Pelicans.
Oh, this
What a
is fucking
shitty name
hilarious.
for a basketball team. Just a terrible bird. Like, what good did a pelican ever do other than hitting Fabio in the face on a fucking roller coaster? You don't name your basketball team the Pelicans. I guess you could name it something like the Storks, because no one's better at leaving a woman with a baby and flying away to another city, quite like an NBA player.
Do that.
Oh, I love it, dude. That is so funny, man. And again, for there, you got to go to the pin comment and subscribe to Tyler Morrison to watch that too. I get, dude, they're all funny, man. I've
Thank you.
Like Too Soon. I watched it 3 times. Well, I watched it once a year ago, and then in the past month, I watched it 2 more times, and it's still
Was
just
Too
as funny.
Soon the first one that you saw of mine that you found out about me, or was it?
Well, here's a funny story. Who was I telling this to? Was it you, Creek? Or was it you? Well, it was either Creek or Dave. I was telling someone the story the other day. This is weird because, if you leave a comment on someone's video and then you go back to that video down the road, on your end, right? On your end, your comment will still be the first one, even though it's not really the first one, but on your end, it will be. So when I went back to Too Soon the other day and I scrolled down to the comments, mine was the first one on there. And actually, I'll pull it up and show you what I put.
Yeah, we were talking
I
about
didn't
that.
remember. I didn't remember, and I was like, "This was from a year ago." So that means I watched it a year ago and didn't remember watching it, but I definitely thought it was hilarious. But yeah, right here. So it's I put tough crowd, hilarious set, love for your humor, brother. Much love and aloha from Honolulu. So,
Oh, right
and I
on.
was like, I don't even remember writing that. And then I laughed just as hard the second 2 times I watched it. So
That's early
Probably
all
went to
timers.
the same comment again, and then was like, "Oh shit, I already said that a year ago."
That's all the timers, Steve.
It is. I know my dementia is kicking in.
Yeah, going out to the garage going, what in the hell did I come out here for? What else you got? So I'm gonna check out Savage. What was the other one?
Savage, Too Soon, and then Pimp Daddy. Pimp Daddy is the one where
that. Yeah.
Pimp Daddy is the one I watched again where that's where I'm like, dude, I wonder if I can get a hold of Tyler. I'd love to have him on as a guest, And then I hope he froze up. He'll be back. And then so Pimp Daddy is the one I watched where I was like, dude, this guy's hilarious. And then that's why it threw me off when I seen my comment from a year ago in the Too Soon one, and I was like,
that is weird.
Yeah. So, and then I got super excited when he responded to me, and then we set this up. So but all right, we'll wait. I'm sure he'll be back in a few seconds, but
come back
in a few seconds, and it was exactly a few seconds.
Dun dun dun.
Guess who's back?
He's back. Yeah, Two's back.
Well, I'll say this, like, so when I put out Too Soon, I do remember actually you dropping the comment because it's when I put the special out, I originally put it out on my other YouTube channel, which is Fight Stories with my podcast. And we just had like a bigger subscriber base on that channel. And I didn't get many views on the special. and it came out during the pandemic, so I was a little bit in my own head. I didn't go out, or I didn't go on like a bunch of shows and promote it. I just put it out, and then I didn't do a lot of promotion for it. And I found like when you put out a special like too soon, it's pretty polarizing, and I'm expecting to get blowback from people and people not to like it. And I'm okay with that. But I'm okay with that if I can go on stage every night and do stand up and kill, because it's like if people are talking shit about you online, that doesn't mean anything if you know you're backing it up in the clubs. But during the
Yeah.
pandemic, there isn't that, right? So you don't have that validation, right? So you're just like putting something out there and you're like basically naked and you just got to take the criticism and take the shit talk. It's pretty, kind of stressful to put something like that out. And so I didn't pump it the way that I probably should have when I put that one out originally. And I guess it would have been, well, it was last year, right? Like last December, I took it off that other channel. It only had like 2,000 views on the other channel after like 2 years. All of a sudden, it just catches the algorithm and people
Yeah.
start finding it. I mean, it doesn't have like a ton of views, but like way more. Like it only had like 2,000 views. It's over 35,000 or something. Whatever. Like
Yeah.
for not a famous comedian, it did pretty good. But
Amazing.
the
Yeah.
response and the fans that did find it, that liked it, I was like, because you were one of the first guys that commented, so I'm paying attention because I'm watching
Right.
what the fuck's going on, because it didn't do shit. And now it's starting to go. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see what I want to see what people are saying
Right now, yeah.
about this. Now I'm interested because I'm back doing live shows again, and I could take the hit. But no, it's cool. It's cool when you like. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, so I put my shit out, and I see people from all over the world commenting, and like, you guys are in Honolulu. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool as hell. So to me, it's like, you know, when it's reaching people, so yeah, all that stuff. When people reach out, like I try and be as engaged with the comedy fans as possible. I'm not one of these comics that gives that thinks I'm bigger than the people. Like I do this because of the people, and the
Right.
interaction's a big part. And there's going to be assholes that don't like you and they talk shit and whatever. Like
Always going to be that handful of people that, yeah.
anyone that talks shit about me, we all know I could kick the fuck out of them. I would never lose to those guys.
No, you could just bring them into your next comedy special and wreck them there. You ain't even got to do
Yeah.
nothing.
But, that reminds me a lot of like
what's so funny is
Kayvon and Zoltan, two different comedians, but I remember they talked a lot about like the whole pandemic thing and having to do comedy on Zoom calls. And I think it was Zoltan that was like, yeah, and I'm doing this Zoom call, and he's like, I don't think there's a worse way to bomb than if you're doing comedy on your laptop with 12 people, and one of them thought they closed their thing, but they didn't, and they said, how much more of this are we going to have to take? It's like, that's the hardest way to bomb right there, But yeah, I know that pandemic screwed up a lot, right?
Yeah, the first Zoom stand-up thing that I had to do, I got it. They banned it from whatever it was. They're like, the people that were screening it were like, no, this isn't happening.
So they wouldn't even let it play. Wow.
Damn,
it was over pretty quick.
It worked out over here at the Unfiltered podcast.
But yeah, that was a weird time. There we go.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
Almost got knocked
for everyone. I mean, it's a hey, Ro.
Well, I spent some time during the pandemic I spent some time during the pandemic pioneering comedy in the metaverse. I worked on a bunch of stuff with metaverse comedy and creating a platform for people to be able to check out stand up and perform anywhere in the world. You can come in and like have like interactive virtual kind of experiences. It's
Right.
pretty crazy. I've done stand up in like the Meta Horizon Worlds one where you're in like VR. It's fucking cool, man. Like the way it's going, there's so much potential with this technology. That's where it's all heading, and eventually it will be like adopted by the mainstream. But I've spent a lot of time just figuring this stuff out because freedom of speech and comedy and creating that next kind of wave where the governments can't fucking stop it. That's important to me. I hate
Oh yeah.
the idea that they can fucking that they want to clamp down on the shit that we do.
Right. Yeah, that's
But there's
especially
huge
that.
potential with that
They'll
tech.
ban laughter at some point. You won't even be able to laugh. It's
Oh my
like,
god.
I like that
allowed.
movie 1984,
Bandit
right?
Amy Schumer shows.
It's like
Yeah. So
without
here's
laughter.
so like for me when I first decided I'm was gonna start growing my or try to start growing my YouTube channel, and I was like, all right, I'll go live. I was before that I was like, why would I do that? I'm never gonna go live, because and then once I did it, I was like, oh yeah, and now I don't mind at all. But now if you were to put me on a stage in front of even just 50 people, I know that my stomach would knot up and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm standing up and everyone, but did, I'm sure you still don't, but when you first started, did you always get like butterflies or like that nervous feeling or?
Yeah, there's a nervous feeling for sure. Like I wasn't really like I was never afraid to say what I had to say, but like you get like that adrenaline. It's definitely a rush to go up and do it for sure.
That's weird because it's opposite for me. Like I can go on stage and talk to people, but I get behind this stupid camera and like I bomb out. I'm like, no, not for me. I will eventually get over it, but
Yeah, like I don't feel
stage is easy for
like
me.
I'm pretty good now. Only time I'm ever nervous is if there's restrictions on the content and there's money
Uh,
on the line. Like if I gotta make
Yeah,
my
how does that work? So it all depends on the club you're at or the city, I guess, or the state, even the country maybe. But when if do you book that show and then once you get there and you're ready, then they go, oh, by the way, can't say any cuss word, and it's like, well, wait a minute, or is it like
usually
way in advance?
usually usually in advance, and it's more about it's not so much the clubs that do that, but like the if it's like a private event or
Okay,
corporate engagement or something like that, and they're like, hey, just don't be saying cunt up here.
right.
Like they're like you talk to them like, hey, is there any restrictions? Because and then you just charge them more money.
Right, right.
For every
Hell
restriction, it's just more money. If
Yep.
I get to go up
Okay.
and do what I do, if I get to go up and do what I want to do, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? But if they're like, you got to do this and that, I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna pay more for that, or you go and get someone that
Right.
right
I
is a
on.
like
little
that.
fucking
I like that because it's kind of like, well, this is me. This is what you're hiring, but now you're putting restrictions on me. So I'm going to charge
yeah.
you more for not letting me be me.
That's it.
That's a
That's it. And listen, like I respect every engagement. Like if I accept the gig under those conditions, I'm going to perform to those conditions, and I'm going to give them a hell of a show because I
right.
can work clean. I can do all that. It's just do I want to? And I want to if I'm getting paid enough money.
Right.
Because I write. I'm also competitive, right? So like I want my clean stuff to be as good as the best clean comics stuff. Like I want it to be hilarious. I don't ever sit there and like try and write clean material. I just write and write and write, and then I recognize if something's like, oh, that's actually a clean joke. I'll just put it in my little clean file, and all of a sudden that just builds up, and then it's real. Then it's like organically you. It's not like you're trying to write something clean for someone else's engagement, where it's like now you're pandering to them. No, it's
Right.
like it's authentic when you do it. So I always kind of focused it like that, and over time I just built up a pretty good clean comedy act that I can do anywhere. And people don't even realize it's like clean comedy is because I have like my onstage persona has a bit of an attitude, I guess, like that. The attitude makes it not seem like this is a family friendly joke, but I could put a little pussy ass inflection on my voice, and it's fucking. Oh, that's actually really clean.
Right. So that's actually where I was going next with that. So with your on stage persona, do you like is that just natural? Like when you go up, that's like, all right, I'm performing, and you just kind of like do that, or is it part? I don't know. I guess I'm asking that, but am I making sense? Or I don't know if I'm asking that the right way, but
It's like an extension of who I am, right? Like when 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 I'm on stage, it's sort of like if I had free will and could not be stopped by any law,
right.
I'm a menace, and I'm
Okay.
the boldest. I'm basically my conscience up there is
Okay.
just saying whatever the fuck I want.
So
I
And
what
get
do
like,
you,
yeah.
yeah,
So
if I
basically,
could be the
same thing
biggest
I do
asshole,
when I'm live on YouTube. Basically, the same thing. It's like this is like the extension of the real me. But when I'm with a customer, because I've been a plumber for 30 years, I'm not really the same with the customer because I gotta,
yeah,
right,
yeah. On
Hey,
stage,
Mr.
it's like
Stone.
it's unhinged. It's just this like
Frozen?
oh, it froze.
it's part
Oh,
of
there we go.
you. You know what I mean? But
Right, just not
So
dodging the
Tyler, what
matrix.
do you think of Sinbad's humor? Did you ever get into
Mm.
any of that stuff?
Sinbad's a talent, man. Sinbad is absolutely one of the best clean comics that I've ever seen, and he holds it down. And I hope he gets better. I saw he wasn't doing too good, and I'm happy to see comics are rallying around him. They're doing like a benefit for him. But like that guy, I never met him personally, got no connection to him. Was a fan of him as a kid. He's really great. Like this guy is a Disney franchise comic. That's a talent to have that level of success as a clean comic. That's I mean, because he's got
Super
like
hard.
sort of a silly name, he kind of gets like made a punchline sometimes. But like anyone that's clowning on Sinbad, they don't know anything because
Nope.
yeah, because
that
that's
guy
got to be
is
hard
good. Like that
to
guy,
be
yeah.
right.
Do you not like
So
Cindy?
then, no, I always have
I
respect for
love
that.
Yeah,
'Cause
Sinbad.
that's I can't imagine how hard that's got to be to be clean like that and still be funny. Because
It's much harder, I'm
yeah,
sure,
because he's
than
like badass. He's like a badass dude on stage, but he's doing clean material. It's like
right,
he has, what he has is like sort of a similar factor to, I mean, Bernie Mac was dirty, but they have that like authority persona, like
right,
dad's home. You know what I mean? Dad's home, listen the fuck up, and everyone's gonna
yeah,
listen. They hold court. Those type of dudes. I fucking love Bernie Mac. I love Sinbad. That's those are great comics, man, and different styles, of course. But yeah, like Sinbad was awesome. Like his Disney stuff was really good. Like First Kid, he was fucking great in that movie. How can you fucking hate on Sinbad, man?
dude. Did you see
right.
Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger with
Oh,
him in it?
it was amazing in Jingle All the Way,
Oh my
and
god, it
Phil
was the
Hartman.
best.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that movie's
that's a
awesome.
killer movie.
The editor fucked that movie up though, didn't he?
I
Like they
love
allowed
that
us to sing.
part where he had the police were coming to get him, and he's like, I'm not kidding. This is a bomb. I work for the post office. Remember?
Yeah,
And then it really was a bomb.
he was really good in that movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I
was so
loved
good.
that shit.
I had
So
kids, so I
now,
think we watched it 4 times.
for me, because I've been a plumber for 30 years, that's just like, thankfully, I got into it on accident when I was a teenager, but that's basically my career. So even 15 minutes ago, I was thinking about plumbing. It's just automatic in my head. So for you as a comedian, for as long as you have been, are you constantly writing jokes in your head and not even realize you're doing it, but you're just like every situation of every day, you're kind of like, I can make that funny, I can make this funny, or
All the time, man. All the time. Like so and when I started comedy, I used to work at a gas station. So I'd be writing all my jokes on like the back of the like these receipts and shit. And like I just write all the jokes in this gas station booth. I'd have like 12-hour day shifts and I'd just be writing jokes there. And like I talk about the gas station on a couple of the specials actually. On Pimp Daddy, I talk about it.
yep,
This character used to come in and try and fuck us when we worked there. But
yep,
and then I worked landscaping also. So like I was a landscaper for a long time. And like I'd be writing jokes all the time when I'm working and shit. It's hard because you're like operating like a saw cutting stone and shit and trying to remember the jokes. But I had a really cool boss, my boy Steve Good, and he was like a fan of my comedy before I started working with him. And so he gave me the leeway to fuck off when I had shows. I could just take off, and he like always cut me slack on that. And we had a great relationship and understanding. We're still still buddies to this day. Um, and yeah, like you need people like that. You need sort of like that flexible, understanding job if you're
right,
gonna be a comic.
yeah,
Because
like a real friendship.
I was right at that spot where I was starting to get those gigs, but I wasn't making enough money where I could just like not have a day job. But it's hard to like have one foot in,
Yeah,
one foot out. And so
it
I never
is.
had to like risk it all until I knew I was making the money.
Yep,
So
I know exactly. I mean, I guess that's one of my benefits of finally becoming a business owner, because if I worked for a company, my channel wouldn't be, and my channel still isn't shit right now, but it wouldn't be where it's at. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I would never ever have time to do anything on here.
Sounds
But
like
yeah,
my
oh
that
life.
yeah,
that you're right. That those are the kind of people you do need in your life, that like real friends that try to help you grow as a person and understand.
Well, if you grow, everyone grows.
absolutely. No,
If
and
you
it's so
network,
clutch.
Yep.
Yep. No, it's so clutch. I remember like I have a comedy festival that I like produced called Cod Country Comedy Festival, and it's like a summertime event. And when I first started, that's when I was working with Steve, and I would be calling sponsors on the job site. I'd be talking to sponsors while all these like heavy machines are fucking running around me. Like I was just doing everything just to build this thing up. It became one of the bigger comedy festivals in Canada. I started when I was like 23, and we still produce a bunch of stuff, to this day. It's a record label that's been very successful, came from that, and all these things. So people like that were understanding certainly allowed me to do what I need to do in the business.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what that kind of blows my mind too, because with anything, like so many people think like stand-up comic or even like a musician, like, oh, they wrote an hour special and then that's it. You just kick, and it's like, no, they go and perform that same show multiple times a night, 4 nights a week for a year to get to that point. And they had to come up with, and it's like, it's not just like, hey, look, I wrote this hour special, I go do it and then I go live my life. And it's, just like anything, like there's so much work that goes into it to get to where you're at.
And it doesn't matter how you feel. You still got to get on that stage and be funny.
Right. Yeah, you still, yep.
And like, in addition to my stand-up, like I probably produced I'd say I've produced like 30 different comedy albums and specials from other comedians. Like, like I'm involved in like the back end of a lot of things that happen in comedy, and kind of at times a little bit of a ghost. So
Right.
people don't realize what I'm all involved with, but like as a comic, I'm out there front and center, but behind the scenes, I'm doing a lot of those things, and you know, any way I can help up and coming comics who are, you know, trying to get to that next level. If I can apply what I do and my understanding and skill set to help friends, I do it, and I love working with you know, funny comics and getting them out there too. I don't have an ego like that. Like I love sharing funny comics with
That's
people. So
awesome. That is awesome, dude. That's awesome. I love that.
So do
there
I.
wasn't a
That's
lot of
how it
people that
should be.
really wanted to help me. There's a lot of comics there's a lot of people that didn't want to help me when I was coming up. There wasn't a lot of that like camaraderie, and it started to change with my kind of my crop of comics that were coming up. They're pretty cool, some of these dudes that we started with, and when I started the festival, that's, you know, we started bringing up young comics and getting them their first festival spots, and it was really cool. And then yeah, once we started producing stuff, that was the next thing, you know. So, you know, anytime we can do that, it's awesome. And there are some guys that were like super good to me. Like, there's a comic you guys got to check out. His name's Mike Wilmot. He's the funniest fucking dude. Like, to me, the greatest stand-up comic ever from Canada. Norm Macdonald, obviously amazing, but like in terms of pure stand-up, Mike Wilmot to me is the man. And so, absolutely a beauty. But he was good to me. He helped me a lot in terms of you know, gave me some good advice and some good insight when I was a younger comic, and it really helped me leapfrog into the next zone of my career, just because he identified a couple things, and I was able to, okay, this is how I got to fix this and make the adjustments. But man, that guy, absolute killer. He was, you know, has a really good career in the UK, and he's a Canadian legend. But American comics, that, you know, Lewis Black, Ron White, all those dudes, they fucking love Wilmot. Kathleen Madigan, like Wilmot is in that peer group, but he's a Canadian guy, and yeah, definitely check him out.
Yeah, I've never heard the name, but I just looked up. I recognize him. I guess I never put the name to the. Wow,
He's like the king of the nasty show. And Just for Laughs, the comedy festival, they have the nasty show, and he'd be the guy that's like headlining it when it's like Patrice O'Neill and all these, you know, wicked comics. Wilmot's
right.
close. He's the man. Yeah,
So
totally.
there's a guy that I just started talking to like a day or two ago. I don't know, but he's newer in stand-up comedy. But I don't know if you've heard Stephen Bowles.
No, I don't know him. I'll have to check him
okay.
out.
I just found him a couple days ago, and same thing with you.
Canadian?
I just left him a message, and then he contacted me, and he's, you know, super cool guy. But I haven't looked into him that much yet. But what I did see, he's pretty funny.
Is he a Canadian comic?
I don't think so. Like, I haven't looked enough into him, but I honestly, I think it might be from Michigan, which I don't know why I think that, but
your mom's
like I said,
Michigan.
I'm a plumber full time, and then I do this full time. So sometimes I like get screwed up. Like, why am I thinking this part? So I may have watched something when I was half asleep, and just went in my head.
Good to see you, Independent and
Yeah,
Angelique.
Indy, aloha, Angelique, aloha. But so who's the is a question I have for you. As far as opening for anyone, who would be the biggest comedian, like as far as like the most well known that you've opened up for?
It's a good question. I've opened for some of the biggest. I'd say Schultz, Andrew Schultz.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, he's funny. He froze.
Oh, he froze up.
I got to do some of his shows on the Life Tour, and those I've done actually, because they're like 5,000 people each show. So like,
wow,
that's massive.
That was phenomenal.
Well, that was going to be my
Shane
next
Gillis,
question. You did Shane Gillis? Oh, dude.
Yeah, I opened for Shane when he was in Toronto, and like, who else? Tim Dillon and Mark Normand. Those are like all pretty big shows. But like the Schultz shows were like when they like I didn't open for Shane when he's doing like the big venues. Like he's just it was right before he started blowing up.
Right.
We did Atlanta Laughing Skull Comedy Festival together, and then he also like he's friends with John Moses, who is my co-host of my podcast Fight Story. So that's how just Shane's been on Fight Stories, and just a great
check
dude.
that out.
Super funny. And
Yeah, Shane.
It's
Shane
nice
is
to see a
hilarious.
winner winning.
Right.
It's nice to see a winner winning in comedy. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So but when I did the show with him, it was like 300 people probably, but now he's like selling massive
Right.
shit. So it's bigger now.
Which leads in to my next question, which is what's the most people you've performed in front of at one show?
I gotta say, Schultz's is like 5,000 people. It's probably the biggest.
That's
and
massive.
the Ric
Is that
Flair roast.
intimidating?
No, man, that's the fucking. This is a dream.
best.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
where
the
you get
greatest.
the natural high, the
You're
real
surfing,
adrenaline.
man. You're surfing on heroin. It's the best feeling ever, man. It's so
It
fucking
is.
sick.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Roast of Ric Flair was pretty big. I don't know how many people were there. I feel like it was like either 2,000 or 4,000 people in the room. There's a lot. Like, but then it was on pay-per-view too. So there's people watching everywhere. That was a big one.
Yeah, so
and that was in
I didn't
you
even
gotta
know that happened.
multiply- If it's on pay-per-view, you got to multiply that 2,000 or 4,000 by at least 10, because
that was a big one. Yeah, and it
That's
was
a big show.
this
awesome,
fucking
man.
douchebag tried to ring me out on Twitter. I forget what this queef's fucking name is, but he was like one of these little dipshit wrestler journalists, and he's like trying to say that like my set was racist or whatever. He's trying to trying to
Flip
he's
the
just
script.
looking for clickbait. And it's like, you know what, buddy? It was a fucking great joke. And it was like over like a joke I did about Virgil, the wrestler. And I don't think people really
Freeze.
realize this, but like he's $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's valet, dude.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
Virgil, like, we helped get him to Nashville, and I was like, his manager was like, his manager is one of my best friends, and who's a producer on the roast. I'm like, we got to get Virgil there, and so like it was partially he was there because we were pushing to get him in there, and so I knew he was in the room, so I made the joke about Virgil, and it fucking got a huge pop. So hopefully that helped sell him a few lunch boxes. Rest in peace, Virgil, man. We did the roast of Iron Sheik together, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh my god, dude! I watched him growing up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like I mean, the
Sheik.
Flair roast was an honor to do too, because it was just like just a huge wrestling fan, and to get to be part of that. That's to me
Oh, dude, his favorite move I think was called the camel clutch,
that's
if I remember
what it's all
correctly.
about. It's a circus.
Is it this one right here?
Oh, Iron Sheik. Yeah. Iron Sheik. This is me roasting Virgil. This
Iron
is
Sheik
in New
wasn't-
York at Caroline.
This-
Did someone say Candyman in the mirror 5 times? No, so then what the fuck is Virgil doing here? You charred corpse of a man. You look like Weekend at Burn victims. I take a swing at you, but that would be hitting below the poverty line. Everyone loves Virgil, though, or as I call him, Django Unpaid. The only ladder match you've had is with the corporate ladder. Virgil was once called Vincent as a dig at his old boss, Vince McMahon. That's why he now goes by the name of Night Manager at Popeyes.
See, that's the first time I watched that one. That's one of the few videos I watched here. Who is this right here, though? That looks like Neil Brennan.
That's Tony Hinchcliffe from Kill Tony podcast.
Tony Hinchcliffe. My bad. I had the names mixed up.
Yeah.
I knew he looked familiar.
Tony's
familiar.
a fucking gem. I love Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. I feel bad that I called him Neil. Man, sorry.
That's okay. Tony can take it. People shit on him every week. He's a good roaster, man. I got to do 3 different Iron Sheik roasts with him, and then we did the Ron Jeremy roast together as well. And then we were on a show in LA at the Comedy Store. It was like a roast battle thing. We were on the same show. But so I've got to do a few events with him, and he's always been a really, really good dude to me. I love Tony. And I'm excited for his success. It's cool to see guys like that. There's Kill Tony's filling arenas, man. It's
I know,
great.
dude. I listen
He's
to
a
him
long
every
time.
week, man. When I'm working, I got my earbuds in. When Kill Tony's on, I'm listening to it. It's great.
And he's a launch pad for these new comics. And Tony's got a persona too, where he's a cocky dude and he's fun, but he's a shit talker. But like, really, he does care about other people, and he's done good by people. So I hope I hope people realize that. They try to cancel him there, and that was horse shit. And that's a guy who he's done more for young comics than most people. So there's a guy who may not get the credit that he deserves for the good deeds that he's done, but I mean, he certainly
Well,
had one of the
look at
hottest shows
Shane-
ever.
Look at Shane Gillis. They tried to cancel him, and it backfired on him. It boosted his career. It's
At the end of the day, funny always wins. Hopefully,
right. Yep.
you hope that you just run the right race, and well, I don't think race isn't the right word to say, but if you put out the right body of work and you're a good person, you hope that people back you, and that the fans understand and stick by you. That's what you hope.
Yep.
There's a lot of knee-jerk reactions to shit these days,
It's all done in jest, though, and people get offended by everything these days. So kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not.
They get, offended by the color of my shirt. Like, for fuck's sake, man.
I'm offended because I want to be offended.
Hey man, that's offensive.
I'm offended because you're offended that I'm offended that I found out you were offended.
Yeah.
And then you'd say Dave's classic, your mom is offended.
Right. That's not what your mom said last night.
Yes,
Your mom's pretty offended.
I think I heard you correctly earlier, Dave, whenever Steve said something about somebody's from Michigan, and he was like, your mom's from Michigan.
Yeah, I said it, but I thought I just floated over and nobody heard it. Yeah.
Nice.
Good. Everything. You can use it for everything.
But
your mom's a Canadian.
I did tell Tyler that we usually do about 2 hours. So up to you,
Yep.
Tyler. If you want to go for a little longer, that'd be awesome, and definitely. But if you wanted to stick to because we're already 2.5, but it's up to you.
Yeah, no big
We
deal
run
either
for a
way.
little bit longer. I got another 10-15. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Jam. Yeah.
All right, we'll end it
I
then
got-
and talk
and again,
backstage.
any
Screw everybody
questions
in the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
Steve, can you do you have the ability to pull up 30 seconds of that Savage clip? Is that cool? Or do you not have that one?
I don't think I have that one.
Okay.
Is Savage on your YouTube page, Tyler? Or
Savage isn't on YouTube.
Okay.
Is it from Instagram? Maybe.
Instagram? Okay, let me.
What's the clip?
He is the He's asking for the from anything from Savage.
Yeah, that's the one I want to watch first. I was just wondering if you have any clips of that for the people in the chat that haven't seen the clips because they're just coming in.
There's clips on Instagram from Savage. It's the one that's like it's not the there's one that's black and white. That's Comedy Exile. The one that looks like that's color. It's like a bluish. Like a you can see it.
Put you on the spot, bro. My bad. Pull up anything. Pull up
Which is
anything.
the funny thing is I've had Instagram for like years and years, but I never use it. But like a little over a month ago, to communicate with Tyler is when I actually started using Instagram again. So
I think I have 165 messages on Instagram, and all I ever did was make a profile and then just never go back on it. I've never checked the messages.
well, here, how about if I do this? Because I'm not sure. Here, I'll just
Pop
share
up
this.
any
Share
clip.
this,
New people in the chat get a little taste.
Maybe you got to point out which one.
Yeah,
would
so
be-
if you go up, just go up for a second. Right now
Okay.
you just go up to the top of it and click the middle button. So it goes to videos because right now we're on go to click reels.
Oh,
and that'll
yeah.
put you into
Okay. So
where there's video.
I'm still new to Instagram.
Did you
Seriously.
say it was black and white? I think.
Yeah, so these are all the videos. So if you just go down, it's you just keep going down because I don't have anything lately from that.
Roast them all. That sounds cool.
That one right there, that color. Keep going. You can keep going down.
God,
Piss
dude,
myself.
You got so many of them. It's amazing.
The one that says piss myself. If you go up.
Up. Okay. Let's see.
That one, piss
to the
myself.
right.
Yeah.
Piss.
Yeah, to the right.
2 money signs.
Oh, right here. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
here we
from Savage.
Completely wasted that I pissed myself. And I wasn't pulling over. Last time I was partying here, I got so completely wasted that I pissed myself.
But that just made me think of another question is because I've noticed this in a few of the specials I've watched of yours is I've noticed this with a lot of comedians when they tell the punchline and they just kind of like look around and then it is like maybe 7, 8, 9 seconds, which I'm sure seems like a long time, but then they catch on. Does that happen a lot where it's like people like, huh? And then they're like, oh, like those kind
a
of
slow reaction. Yeah, sometimes you
Right,
get
right.
that. Just depends on the joke, right? But yeah.
Yeah, let me see. How do I can put this in chat too? Unless one of my mods want to do it, but put
Yeah, it really
the
depends.
link to the Instagram page. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still new. Even though I've had Instagram forever, I'm still new to it.
Yeah, I put you in a spot. We should have just stuck to the YouTube. That's my fault.
No, it's good. This is how I learn, man. I'm old, dude. I'm pushing 50, so
You know what I'm saying?
I'm still learning how to use YouTube.
Well, I'm still trying to get up off the ground when I kneel down to get something. I go on the way
I
up.
don't even have to do drugs anymore. I just stand up really fast.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Boom. That's a new reel.
Yeah, no, that would be stolen. I heard that from another comedian. So
Well, you're a horrible person, you know. If that's what you steal.
no, I'm honest about it. I'm not stealing it. I'm just repeating it because I think it's funny.
Your mom steals jokes.
Your mom. Wait, what is this? What is this? Hold on. So what's up, Creek? Creek, this is the most quiet I've ever heard you.
He never talks.
I'm working back here, brother. I'm working back here.
He's probably eating some jambalaya.
I wish I was. All right, guys. So I'm dropping in chat here. This is Tyler's Instagram channel.
Any of the listeners that want to ask questions, if
Oh,
there is anyone listening.
yeah, that's you for everyone in
I'll
chat.
answer any of those.
Throw them in. This is open Q&A for Tyler Morrison. Your mama steals so many jokes that Carlos Mencia keeps clear. You ever do tornado
gotta-
drills in school? Oh, sweet. Everyone's dropping your Instagram. I guess I am out of the loop. Instagram's I need to start paying attention to Instagram.
Yeah, we're old school, dude. We got to relearn everything.
Yeah.
But they just killed
Well, I've
TikTok
been quiet
off.
for so long. I've been trying to figure out how to do that for the last 10 damn minutes.
But that is funny though. Have you ever done tornado drills in school? Because well, one, it shows our
Oh,
age. But oh,
yeah,
he got the
we don't have
Buckman thing.
tornado drills. No tornado drills, just fire drills, basically.
Right. Well, even if not tornado, or I know back in the day when they had like the if we were to ever be, the whole earthquake or anything, but where you hide under the desk, which is so
Yeah.
funny because what is that gonna do? Like that's gonna
Yeah, it's weird.
hide under the desk, and now you're
Maybe
safe.
just for anything falling off the walls or something like doesn't crush your head.
Right.
Steve, what's
We
the
had,
funniest joke from childhood?
I was driving.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I was trying to think of like our funniest jokes we used to tell when we were kids.
Oh,
Like
I told
one of-
mine earlier, Dave. When you
I know,
dropped
but I
mine.
crashed out. Damn it.
What you were gonna say, Tyler? You were.
Oh, I was driving home from a gig, and I'm coming through a tornado, and
Ooh.
it's fucking crazy what's going on around me. And I just see like all these cars are just like pulled off. Everyone's got their four-way lights on, and I'm driving through, and it looks like a scene from the Walking Dead. Like all the cars pulled over and shit, and like livestock fucking flying around. It really was like bad to the point where I called my wife just in case I died. You know what I mean? Because
Wow.
it was scary, and like the whole time I'm thinking like, oh please God, like if I fucking make it through this, I promise I will not be a fucking asshole anymore. Like I'll quit drinking, all that. Then I pull into my driveway finally, and like it was just a white knuckle the whole time. And it's my wife and my baby, and I see them. I'm just like, holy fuck! Someone get me a fucking beer.
You know what? That reminds me too, because I know you bring it up in a few of your stand-ups, but because you have what, 2 daughters, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the jokes that you tell too, and then you're like, I'm allowed to say that joke. I have 2 little girls, but does your like wife and daughters watch or listen to your stand-up, or
No.
are they just like, no, dad's at work?
Not really. My wife sort of tuned out. She used to, you know what I mean? Like she knows what I do. The kids, they're not, they sometimes hear me editing shit and like hear some swear words or whatever, but they don't know any of the material. But like everyone in our town knows that I'm a fucking asshole.
Well,
I
it's
definitely
kind
see
of
like
good.
people. I'm picking up kids from school, and I definitely know what people have seen my fucking comedy and don't like it. You just tell they know who you are, but they like don't want to ever say hi or.
Yeah, you kind of get that look like, oh, that guy, I know what he does. But it's kind of good though that
But
if
in the
your wife
same
does
end,
it, because it makes it easier to make the wife jokes, right? Because then she doesn't really
well, she doesn't
watch.
care. She knows it's all. She knows it's all jokes.
Right.
I'll tell like she'll know what the joke. Like I'll tell her the jokes. If there's something that's like a little bit, out there, I'll talk to her a little bit. Sometimes the jokes, you gotta be careful. Sometimes it's not your joke to make. or your story to tell. So you have to be careful about what you say for
Right.
certain things. You know what I mean? To be on the table. But I'm conscious of that. Um, you do got to be careful with the type of comedy that I do. There's people that don't like it, and you get death threats and shit like that. So I've been. You don't want it to affect your family,
Right.
those type of things, but
The
it's part
nature
of
of
the
the
game.
beast, man.
It's part of the
Can't make
game.
everybody happy.
I have a question that is actually just personal because it doesn't affect anyone in the chat or on the panel except me. But do you ever plan on coming to Oahu, Hawaii, and doing a show?
Dude, I would love to go to Hawaii. I've wanted to come to Hawaii ever since I saw Magnum PI.
So if you do, the Blue Note which is where I seen Andrew Schultz at. The Blue Note is it's a great venue, and
Is it a
yeah,
club or is it like a theater?
it's like I guess originally I'd have to look
Is it a
into it
comedy
more, but
club?
from it's comedy club, but from what I know from it, it started out as like a blues club, and then it started mixing with
Oh, nice.
comedy, and I guess it still does both, but that's like
Sick.
the spot for comedians.
The
Oh,
spot.
nice. Yeah, I'd love to come out there. Definitely like one of those bucket list places to try and get to. Once I get my visa here, I plan on doing as much as I can in America. Um, it's been really cool the last couple years. A lot of people reaching out from the States and asking when I'm coming to where they are. So I really hope, I'm still not a huge name yet, but more people are finding out about me, and I just hope that it just keeps building and word of mouth keeps happening. It's
Oh
if
yeah,
you like my comedy, tell your friends. That's what I tell everyone.
Sounds
That's the
like
key.
you've done a ton of big
I'll
things,
do
really.
everything I can. I'll definitely do everything I can to help out. But
Sure.
are you planning on
Oh
like
no,
touring anytime soon? Or do you have anything set up to where you got like a bunch of dates?
No, he said he's going to
nothing
do
yet
2 a
because I'm
year.
waiting for the green light. Once I get the nod that I have it, then I'll start rapidly moving towards it. Where my team's talking to people and sort of getting the preliminary stuff going, but it'd be once July is when I should know about it, and then after that, I'll probably start planning some dates in the fall. That's kind of the idea.
This is going to be my last question. So you do comedy all the time. Do
Yep.
you ever reach a point where you're just like it becomes a job almost, or
That's
do
good.
you always love it?
I
Like, is
love
this
it for the most part. Yeah, almost always love it. Like I said, unless there's like a gig where there's restrictions and I feel pressure from that scenario, I don't like it so much. Sometimes you get these gigs where it's bad and like it's just a bad situation. I always want to win. I always want to make the crowd laugh. That's number one, being funny and killing, finding that common ground with the crowd. The material is like I have a wide variety of it, so I can always find that common ground and then take them to where I want to go. Sometimes, it's tough to do if they don't care about it, if it's a bad show or whatever. But yeah, I really enjoy it most of the time. Like if you don't enjoy the process, you'll be empty inside. That's what I see. These comedians are like, oh, I have to get this. I have to get this. I got to get this late night show, or I got to get this festival, or I got to get a Netflix tape. Like they don't care about the journey to get that, so they're not having fun along the way.
right?
They're not having fun creating the
Man,
material.
so true.
Nothing makes me more excited than writing a perfect joke. Like, oh, I can't wait. Now I love writing it and I love discovering that, but then I love taking it on stage and really building it out. And so it's like a whole process. And I love to hang out with like comedians I'm friends with, like my best friends in comedy, John Moses, Tom O'Donnell, hanging out with those guys. It's the best. So it's like the stories of the bad gigs are the ones that you guys tell, That's the one that you're gonna tell 10 years from now. So those
Yep.
bad, if you're not having fun when shit's going bad, like
Pretty much save it for later.
It's
yeah,
so
it's
true. Yeah.
I mean, that's
all
the
about
American dream is doing what
it's
you
a
love for a living, you know, and
yeah.
making
You have to
money.
love everything about it. There's shit that we don't like, but you know what I mean. Like try your best to enjoy the process and the creation of it, and then like the reward is getting to do it on stage and kill for the audience and connect with all those fans. Like that's so fun. Um, like that's the reward of it. But if you enjoy everything about it, or most of it, not
Frozen.
Oh yeah, that one's
everything,
holding.
but most of it.
Oh, there we go.
If you
Yeah,
enjoy the process,
Yeah.
these guys that it's so much more rewarding than these guys who are just like, oh, I just got to get to the next thing because then that thing's over in 5 to 10 minutes or however
Right.
long.
And then the way I look at that too, once that's over and they're just still thinking about the next thing, you really don't learn anything from what just happened to help you grow, right? Like
Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, again, it's
so.
like you do the. If you're just worried
Oh,
about
go
what
ahead.
the next credit is, after that you've got that credit, you're fucking empty again for another 6 months.
Yep. So have you ever done a show where you bombed so bad or the crowd was just such bad vibe that you were just like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna go get a regular job. Like, have you ever even come close to that or had that feeling?
Dude, I never fucking bomb.
I love it. I love it.
No, oh
Yeah.
no, there's been shows where it makes you reconsider your fucking life. There was one. This one was tough. I was doing a show for the Canadian military friends and family Christmas party, and it was just a bad layout, bad setup. The lighting sucked. There's no stage. The sound wasn't good. There's 200 people.
Oh, come on, come on, come
Disney. It's a Disney movie. It's Frozen.
on. Okay.
It's Frozen. Unfreeze him.
Oh, come on. It's gonna catch up. I said it's
Okay,
two.
I'm back.
There we
There it
go. Yeah, you said it's 200 people, and then
Yeah, 200 people, 80 people on each side can't see you or hear you. And then there's like 40 in the middle that can. But I had like two guys go up. The one host, he's one of the military guys who does comedy, so they love him. Like he's perfect for them. Then the middle does good, but like I fucking just died. They hated me and they were just tired. Like they didn't want to listen to it. Like it was just they're drinking and they'd seen enough. And I start up and really there's just so many people on either side that are talking and they can't hear you anyway. And so that was a tough one. And I ended up like calling out a guy in the crowd who was talking. He's sitting front row with his back turned and he's just being loud. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. And he must have been like probably high up in the military. So because everyone was like rattled when I went at him. And that's one of those situations where it's like that whole crowd is against you. It's
Run.
not other people, it's the whole
because
crowd. But it's also
they're scared of that guy.
and it's the
basically.
Canadian military friends and family Christmas party, and they don't, what? Who the fuck am I? And I still told them all to go fuck themselves.
Dude, but I think that's what's awesome about you and any comedian that does that because it's like fuck you if you don't like it. And I say it all the time. I think it's in one of my intros where it's like turn the fucking channel if you don't like it. It's just
So, and then the other comics didn't want to like hang out after, so it was like a lonely bomb. That was a tough one. And then I gotta go back
oh
to the shitty hotel, and I just order a pizza and I'm drinking a beer. It's just me, and I'm like, fuck it. So I try to go to bed, but the people next to me are partying so hard, being so loud, and I hate them because they're having so much fun. Like, I'm just like, it's not a good night. So I wait till they shut it down. It's about like 3:30 in the morning. They're shutting it down. I wait till they're asleep, and then I just crank up my fucking TV. I take my mic stand and just smash the wall. Just bang it, just so that they fucking, can't sleep. And then I fuck off. I just take off, driving home. And it's about 4.5 hour drive. It was just one of those drives where just like crying on the steering wheel. Like, what the fuck am I doing? But the next week, I had to go back to Kingston to the military base to do another military show, and I was worried that it's going to be like a fucking crossover crowd who fucking hates me. Like that was like the scariest gig.
I
And
could imagine, yeah, because all my mind would be thinking about is what just happened the last, right?
oh, it was the most stressful white knuckle fucking drive back to the same town. You want to bomb again, and then it ended up being totally different crowd, and I killed, and it was awesome. It was just turned out great. Erased the damage from the previous time, but yeah, I remember that one. And I see Topspin has a comment. Have you ever had a
Yep.
Michael Richards moment at a comedy club? No, just in my car.
No snap.
Keep those moments
We
behind
kind
closed
of all
doors.
had that moment in our car, right?
If you don't know what it means, don't ask.
Right, right.
Michael Richards, the hockey player, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I did a lot
great.
of coke in my.
Hey, you want some Coke in a bag?
Right.
That was
Little
from our
Coke in a
last show.
bag. That's
No, I haven't
great.
had one of those moments where I've like freaked out like Michael Richards or anything like that. It's you try and keep your shit together. There's been a couple times where, you know, I've challenged a guy to a fight or something, but like I'm not dropping N bombs. You know what I mean? He wasn't black.
Right. He didn't. He wasn't
That's a
black.
good reason not to drop N-bombs. That would be
White-
anti-racist.
My hecklers are always white.
Right.
Oh, man. Oh, dude, that's so fucking funny, man. Oh, that's great. Holy shit, that's great. Oh, I forgot what I was gonna ask now. That was so good. Wait. Oh man, can I open the video I make of the remake video of this? Can I open with that? No, I didn't do that. He wasn't black.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
That's awesome, man. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now. That was so good.
Someone's not going to read it, and they're going to be like, these guys are racist.
Just so dumb.
Shut them down. Shut them down.
That's awesome.
So what do you think, like 5 more minutes here?
Yeah, that's what I was. I
about
but I
3
was gonna
hours.
say something to lead to that. I can't, dude. That was fucking awesome, dude. You just made my month, man.
That was a
That
good
was
joke.
great.
Yeah.
That was great. Well, yeah, I'll do this since let's see. Yeah, we are pushing 3, so I'm gonna play. Did I already do too soon? I don't think I did too soon.
I didn't see it.
I
I
thought
don't
No,
think we did.
I'm gonna play like
you did.
less than a minute, but just to give you guys the audience an idea, this is just
Oh
like
yeah,
the
do
first
whatever.
40 seconds, and then after this we'll close out. But I have Tyler Morrison's YouTube channel link pinned at the top, so definitely go check him out. And you're gonna want to once you just watch this first minute of one of his specials too soon, because this guy is fucking hilarious. Oh, I guess I gotta share it first, huh?
Yeah, I was like, where are you? I'm going to make sounds in the background. No.
Mr. Tyler Morrison! Yeah, Toronto, how we doing tonight?
Fired up.
It's what I like to hear. My name's Tyler Morrison from Bracebridge, Ontario. What? Shut the fuck up. Recently caught my neighbor's dog taking a shit on my lawn. Fortunately, I had a plastic bag, so I suffocated it.
That's great. Yes. We're sorry, PETA.
Luckily for me, there were no witnesses because it was a seeing eye dog. It's not all fun and games where I live. Got some bad news, guys. My wife recently caught me on Tinder. That's not the bad news. The bad news is we matched.
I'm gonna leave you guys hanging because what you got to do is go to that pinned comment and subscribe to Tyler Morrison, and then go watch the whole special. It is worth your time. It's hilarious. I've watched.
Oh man.
There's that one, Too Soon, and then there's Pimp Daddy, and then there's the what's the village one called? The Burn the Village. I've watched all three of those multiple times, and they're hilarious, man. Really good stuff.
That one was great. The bag on the dog. I feel that so deeply. It reminds me of the suburb. What was that name? The Burbs. The Burbs, the movie. Remember the dog?
Yeah,
kept
with
going-
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, the dog kept going and crapping on his lawn.
Yeah.
Keep your damn dog over there.
The song on the intro song of that's a band called Triple Deek. Triple Deek are from, oh my god, where the fuck are they? I want to say like Idaho. Like they're like a small city punk band in the States, and just beauties. I actually met the drummer on like a hockey fight thing, like a hockeyfights.com back in the day, and we just been, we connected online, and so they hooked me up with their music for the special, and it was fucking awesome. It totally fits the vibe. Triple Deek,
Oh,
you can
that's
get them
cool.
on Bandcamp. You can buy their shit, or they have Apple Music and probably Spotify. Just wicked punk band.
Sweet. Yeah, punk. I love punk. I love all music, but yeah, that's awesome.
Your mom likes punk.
Your mom was loving that punk last night.
Oh, I'm coming to Hawaii to beat your ass.
Your mom got punked.
Wait, did he say pumped or punked? Pumped? My mom
Punked.
got.
Hey, I'll leave
Mom,
it to
if
your
you're
interpretation.
listening, if you're listening, Mom, which she could be.
Oh yeah, if real mom, Dave's not here, man's real mom. We love you, mom.
Yeah, we love you. We didn't mean it.
But,
and I'll kill everyone later. I mean, on the live. We love you, YouTube.
Hey, say I'm over there to eat shit now.
I'm gonna go there tomorrow. She's gonna put X-Lax in my spaghetti or something.
But with all that though, I
Yep.
want to well, first of all, we're gonna close it out. But Tyler, if you don't mind hanging out for a little bit, so when we close it out, we talk a little bit backstage for a few, if that's cool.
Yeah, no problem.
And then also Creek and Dave's not here. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. Cheers.
That's a final
Cheers,
thought.
boy.
I like
Good
it.
time.
And what about you, Dave?
Final thoughts: be good to one another, man. Be kind, and don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick, right now. And then
I stole that from somebody's
Tyler.
show. I'm sorry.
I want to give Tyler a minute, whatever you need. But if you want to go ahead and plug the shit out of yourself and just let everyone
sure.
know who you are and what you're about. Oh, that didn't work right. You're supposed to be right there. There you go.
Yeah, so check out my stand-up comedy on my YouTube channel, Tyler Morrison. I got stand-up specials on there, Pimp Daddy, and Too Soon, and a bunch of stuff on my channel. Lots of new stuff happening. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, or Twitter. It's Tyler Morrison 1 on Twitter and Tyler Morrison 123 on Instagram. But yeah, check out my stuff, and I really appreciate everyone who's supporting and sharing my comedy. It's it means everything to be able to connect with the fans, and hopefully we get to come down. I get to come down and tour in the States, and you can come see me live. TylerMorrison.ca is the website. I post all my tour dates on there, and I constantly pump them on the socials. So, yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it, Steve. You guys are the best. And anytime you guys want to have me back on, I'm happy to crush a few beers.
Awesome.
Appreciate you showing up, brother. That's great.
I'm always down to crush some beers, man. I'm definitely the guy for that.
Yes, sir.
And then I want to say
yeah.
thank you.
I'll get down to Hawaii sometime.
Hell yeah, definitely. When you do that, let me know, man. I even show you around, like, not the touristy shit, but the real shit to do here. And yeah, it's a good time.
Just don't get on a Boeing plane because your door might fall off. Never know.
But so cool. So yeah, shout out to everyone. And yeah, if you just hang out for a sec, I'm gonna close this out with the outro. And then shout out to everyone in chat, everyone that showed up today, everyone that hit the like button. And don't forget to check out Tyler's channel. And my final thoughts will be till next time. Have a beautiful morning, beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Much love, much aloha. Most importantly, God bless. Damn good show. Aloha, everyone.
Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hour, bullshit pay. So I could just sit here and waste my life away with Steve Harloha and Ronnie Cash today. It's such a damn shame.
It's unfiltered.
Coming in close and hot.
How do you make it out of your front door and you don't even know how to get gas? I just don't get it.
No, they're not going to take us out because they need us. We make the world go round.
You're just taking up space. You're here sucking up air.
How you doing today, brother? I hope everybody's doing great today and having a great weekend. But I said, no, let's go ahead and cook something to eat because I'm starving to death. It ain't nothing like home cooking. But she just cooked some breakfast. Well, she made scrambled eggs, with bacon, biscuits, and gravy. There ain't that much left, though, because I ate just about all of it.
It's still like 60 degrees. I'm like, oh, I'm cold. And
it was cool when I got here, but 2 days later, I got up in the 70s and everybody went golfing. Tuesday, Halloween, it's supposed to snow in Michigan. Last year, Chris took a picture of me shoveling the driveway in my bathing suit.
I didn't like the cold weather even when I was young, and now that's the last thing I want is cold and snow and everything.
It'll warm up, or in Michigan, it won't.
You, Hawk, Chow, David Devine, my best friends on here. Then after the welcoming part, we get into the deep part when we have our guests. Well, when we get them on, we can just shut up and let them go.
Make a beer run. That was a long time ago. Ronnie's so old that he remembers preparation A.
I sure do.
Man.
More than likely sitting there puffing on one of them joints, so.
$15 for an eighth.
Gold chip.
That's pretty good.
I think that there was some shit that came over, whether it be underwater, through the ice passage in the ice wall, above water, or maybe it's just portals that can open up.
They've got certain depths that submarines can't even go to.
Any other times in your plumbing career has something sounded as crazy as the Old Faithful butthole story?
Loving this, where the guy comes in and interviews the host. This is wonderful.
It's a great story. I had so many questions.
Maybe for medical misinformation, they can go f themselves. We talked absolutely nothing about medical whatsoever. There's 11 full-grown German Shepherds in here right now.
An old friend told me that I looked like an orange with a toothpick shoved through it.
There's a special place in hell for that.
He's supposed to be the smart one.
Ronnie, how to kill that rooster as the rooster's gone.
We're going in one ear and out the other.
You're going to turn the air conditioner up. I know how you get hot when you're sitting in that spot. Satan himself is dwelling right there in that computer, and we are fighting against him, bro. Hey, I want y'all to keep kicking ass because y'all are kicking ass.
Oh, and Gary, this question's been on my mind for a while now. Could you please watch our show more often and keep your son in line?
I tried.